Okay, looks like we are live. Late Mini Synth Pub. How's it going, everybody? Try to get out earlier, but had to run some errands and local traffic. All the great back in this part of California. So let me just share a link out here so people can find it. I had Ethernet because I think the Wi-Fi is a bit spotty. All right. Let's go top chat. I have to share the damn StreamYard thing. Hey, Native, yes, what's up? Jump in if you can. Pin the message. Now it's pinned. My work is mostly done there. Let's get rid of that prompt. A little bit of housekeeping here. Okay, that looks pretty good. Hopefully sound is okay. It didn't sound too bad. I'm using the Behringer interface again because I didn't trust my ATEM Mini Pro again. It was acting weird last time and I didn't feel like monkeying around with it. It's just not fun sometimes. Hey, Robert, you should jump in and do some Noisevember sounds. It's appropriate for the month. Okay. Pardon me while I get some water. I'm parched. Didn't have much of a lunch either. I might be snacking during this. Okay. This boom mic makes a little more noise than normal, but... Hello, James. Welcome. Doing this later than usual, but here nonetheless. I've got tangles here. There we go. Wire tangles are not good. It does sound like I'm coming in stereo, which is good. Last time it was mono for some reason. Okay, that's a little bit better. You can jump on the stream if you want, James. Talk about some synthy stuff or other related shit. Or turn your camera on or no camera, doesn't matter. I got 6 slots. I'm not sure who's going to join this late, since some people are either busy or probably getting sleepy at this time in some parts of the world. Okay, what else? Let me, pardon me while I have a little snack here. Not too noisy. Can you still hear it? You can still hear the crunching, I think. I'm gonna mute for now while I chomp on a few things. Just feel free to come in, guys. Change MIDI channel on Malevolent. I played with a Malevolent for about 15 minutes in a store once. Guitar Center had used one. And I considered getting it because it was a decent price, but compared to the full price, they weren't discounting much for a used item. So I said no. But it's got a lot of controls and it's real nasty. You can do some really fun, you know, like a fancier version of the Venom, basically. Some real nasty tones out of that thing, but much better sounding than the Venom. Just pressing a key or powering up. Yeah, some things have those functions where it's a certain series of buttons or one button while you turn it on. Is it maybe a firmware thing? Do you have to check the firmware? Yeah, reface. I don't think I've tweaked my reface much. I have a DX and a CS. And I just kind of left it as is. I do want to get the CP though. There's some nice electric pianos on there, and there's that debug mode that gives you like a proper piano on there. It's like a mode they never unlocked for whatever reason, and it sounds really good. Problem is that Reface CP never goes on sale. Never found it on sale anywhere. Whereas everything else either got used or got on sale. Let me mute here for a minute. Okay, unmuted again. Let's see if we get anyone to notice and join in. Hey, Paul. Jump in, Paul. No one else is here. We're supposed to get Cresthead to come in. Want him to talk about his new book he's working on for MPC stuff, drum programming and so forth. But I'm running a bit late, so he may have already tuned out. I was talking to him on Facebook. Okay, time for a little candy as well. I need to pick me up. Get some good Foley sound effects here, or sampling. Hey, David. Jump in if you got some time. You can do audio only if you don't have a camera ready or don't want to go on camera. I was going to do a little bit of fun Noisevember live stuff on here once I get everything plugged in. Damn, these rappers are a pain in the ass sometimes. Okay, what else we got? Let's pull out the... Got my little ROAT here. You guys know ROAT? Rumble of Ancient Times. I don't have my little mini chaos. Oh, I'd actually do a mini chaos letter nearby. Although the batteries might be dead. Didn't really plan that well for this. Let's see. Get some low tones out of there. Ear splitting. Let me take it down. Can't do multiple cameras here because my thing isn't working, so I have to basically hold it up once in a while and push some buttons. It's actually going below my headphone range. If you guys got subs, I might be going crazy under subs. It's like 50 sci-fi. Not bad for something that's like $150 or whatever this thing was. Pretty cheap. Oh, probably doing a Noisevember show. That's good. This cries out for some delay, but I think I forgot the goddamn batteries for the mini chaos pad. It's within reach, but I think the batteries are dead. that's good, Hayes. You'll like it. If you already, you pre-ordered it or you already have it? Because it's been up for a while. I got mine at Perfect Circuit last time I went to NAMM, I think it was. Always have to get something passing through there. That's a nice little rumble there. Sick of it, you go to chaos mode, and it goes in some other different direction. Somebody's here. Who we got? Who we got? Hey, it's Robbie. You're joining Noisevember. You're muted.
Only me.
Yeah, Chris said it's supposed to be here to plug his book. I wanted to give him some free press for his book.
Oh, yes.
Did you see that about his NPC thing?
Yeah, I've got his TD3. Hardback edition as well.
Oh, wow. I didn't know you had a hardback.
Yeah.
I'm a pleb. I only have the soft cover, so.
I thought it was only like a pound or two more.
Oh, wow. That's good. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, I can't remember. That was a while back. Yeah.
That's cool.
I was just watching, I was doing that whole YouTube video thing. Like, you watch a video, you go back to your homepage, and then it suggests something else. And, so I started off watching.
Speak of the devil areas.
Here it is.
Yeah.
And I've just been watching some crazy video about quantum physics and time travel, and does the past still exist, with some mildly attractive, in a weird way, German professor.
Yeah. What's up, Chris?
Then I watched something about Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There you go.
Weird. Yeah. Very weird.
That's cool.
Going to bed.
Did you watch the Alan Howarth thing?
Yes. Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
I was that happened during the Harvard Jam thing, so I couldn't check it out. But I watched part of the replay, his sound demos and stuff.
Yeah.
That guy's so cool. I was bummed. I found out he was at Synthplex last year. I must have missed him by 5 minutes in the hallway.
Oh wow.
Would have been nice to meet him, because I love his work.
Yeah. Oh yeah, everything he did with Carpenter was great, wasn't it? And then
Yeah, because Carpenter gets like all the credit for most people's point of view, but
You're very
Howard
quiet.
was a huge
Robert.
part of that.
Am I?
Yeah.
It's not for me, but maybe a little low.
How's that?
Better.
A little louder, yeah.
I haven't changed anything. Maybe I'm just not projecting. Maybe I'm just
Maybe
quiet.
Andy's just really loud.
Well, this rig is a little. I mean, if I'm too loud, let me know, because this rig is different, and the mic is quite hot
Yeah,
sometimes.
you're quite hot.
All right, let me turn it down a tad. Is that better?
Yeah, a bit like a Depeche Mode. We need to get the balance right, don't we?
Yeah.
It's like the play solo. Solo, we can't hear you.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Yeah.
Yay.
Ba-dum-bum. Exactly.
Perfect.
So let's talk about your book. You want to
No,
share
not a lot
some?
to talk about, is it? I made it for me, really, because it's a niche area. If you do like I do, and you've got like 20 or 30 sequences, then it can get out of hand really quickly when you're trying to do tracks, like what tracks
Right.
on what sequence. So if you had sequence one and you did like 3 tracks on it, so you had like drums, a bass, and a keyboard, and then you then copy that to make a new sequence so you can build on it. So on sequence 2, you got the first 3 tracks. So you add another track, say so you got track 4 that's got like vocals on it. If you go back to sequence 1, it doesn't tell you anything about track 4. It's just empty. So if you've got lots of sequences and you're growing your track count, then things can get complicated if you want to. If one of the things you might want to do is to merge 2 sequences together. And to do that, you have to align all your tracks up. So you've got to keep notes of where everything is. Because if you end up with track 9's got a vocal on one sequence and track 9's got a piano, for instance, then they won't be able to merge together to make a bigger sequence. If you're trying to put together like a larger sequence, you're trying to like do say trying to do sequence 1 and sequence 2, you want to put them together to make sequence 3, basically. They've all got to line up. So if you don't make notes of what your tracks are doing, then it just won't work. So I've been running bits of paper for ages, thinking, why am I doing bits of paper? I'll make a bloody book. So I've made a book. And that's basically it. It's
Cool.
basically track counts, sequences, and pad notes. You've got a certain set of pads that have got like vocals on it or guitar solos and chords and stuff. It's easy just to write it down, just so you can actually see it. You can name each thing on an MPC, but when you look on the actual screen, it'll cut off after like 8 letters. So you have to like guess what it is really. So if you can write it down, then you know what it is. So that's really what the book is. It's really basic.
Have you used the Force at all? Is it also useful for the Force, or is it just an NPC book?
I don't know, to be honest, because I don't have a Force. I could ask Inky when I talk to her next. She's got a Force and an NPC, so maybe.
Mine's sorely underused. When I first got it, I used it a whole bunch, and then I discovered Machina Plus, and I just Force can go in the back burner for a while.
Yeah, but the Force is pretty cool. I mean, Darren used the Force the other day, didn't he? He did.
It's very
great work
cool
on that.
But the pads are superior on the Machina Plus. So if you're like a finger drummer or like the expression with the aftertouch and stuff, it's really awesome.
Yeah. So it's a simple book. It's basically made it for me. If anybody else wants to buy it, they're welcome to. But it's really for me. It's a bit like the TD3 book was for me, really. And then people go, "Could you do one with a different colour?" Oh, go on then. If you give me a picture, I can do a different colour. And then someone said, "Can you do a hardback?" I went, "Yeah, I can do a hardback." Just move it over and do it. Yeah. So it's. I think all these books are very niche. Like for most people, you probably don't need a book, but for a few people, it might help. And that's
there used to be a time when, if you needed something like that, the manufacturer would probably put a few pages at the back of the manual.
Yeah.
Like patch sheets or.
Yeah.
And they just don't do that anymore. They don't.
I think there was even patch sheets. I think there was even patch sheets for DX7.
Yeah, and the DX7 manual had patch sheets.
There's a whole book of them.
Yeah. I mean, I think they actually made empty ones as well that you could fill in with the data.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
you just take it, photocopy it, and then away you went.
Yeah. So I mean, you can still do that now. You can make, you can get one and then go use a photocopy if you want to. But I don't have a photocopier. Well, I do. It's called Amazon. So
Yeah. Because you're doing this through Amazon self-publishing, aren't you?
yeah. It doesn't cost anything. So I mean, if no one buys it, it hasn't cost me anything. They don't charge me anything. If I sell one, I'll make a couple of quid. I'm not going to I'm not going to go.
How painful is that process?
Say again.
How painful is that process?
Really easy. Really easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they give you a template for making covers, so you just put your picture where they tell you to put it, and to leave a little bit where the barcode's going to go, and then you just save that as a PDF, and then they do templates for the inside, which is just a PDF again with if you're going to make it, if you're going to run the images all the way out to where they cut the paper, there's that for the bleed and everything, then you just make a PDF for that. So you just upload 2 PDFs.
Okay.
Cover, and then he says, "Oh, your book's ready. Do you want to order one?" Okay, and you order one. So
Crazy.
everybody should do it really. If they need a book, it's a great way of making a book that don't really cost you a lot.
I was going to do one through the Apple Books thing one time because that's pretty easy as well, but I never got around to it.
Oh, the iBooks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made a couple of iBooks. Yeah, but the market's tiny for iBooks compared to Kindle and
Is
stuff.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's well, it was tiny then. I think it's even worse now. It's like basically dropped off the side of the planet for Apple. I don't think they care about it.
It's one of those great Apple things that they introduce a great product, they go gung ho for a while, and then they go, who gives a fuck, and then it just goes away eventually. So.
Yeah, they get their 5 minutes of fame with, oh, we can do this, and then
I mean, look at OpenDoc. Really. Do you know about OpenDoc?
Vague memory. I've heard of it. I can't really answer much about it.
It was these meta documents basically. So you could basically create a document that has elements of Word, elements of Excel, elements of PowerPoint, elements of lots of other graphics thingies, all based on these modules. And it's so long ago I even forgot about some of the details about it. But at the time it was revolutionary because everything was like, oh, you do this thing in Word, and then you do this thing in Excel, and this thing in or whatever the equivalent is. And OpenDoc was more of a plug-in architecture for meta documents. And it was really, really cool. And it was 15 years ago, 20 years ago, whatever the hell it was.
So it's a document that you could fill in. You could make a form that you could fill in. So a bit like the PDFs of What Can Happen Today. I
mean, stuff has replaced it now, here and there, basically. But at the time, no one's touching that. And so they, or what was another one they had that was pretty cool? A few other was it CyberDog? Some other web-based technologies that were clever, and they're always doing this weird kind of skunkwork stuff in the back room, and eventually stuff will come out, and I go, that's really cool. Oh, it's gone. So much for that.
Oh, I've made an MS1 book as well. Well, was that it? Because I've got an MS1.
Oh.
So it's like a patch sheet book, which is just like patch sheets. It looks pretty, but it's just a patch sheet. And that's 100 pages of patch
I have an entire DX7 book. It's a thick book of just patch sheets.
Yeah.
It's one of those famous Yamaha books that came out, and it's really boring to look at. But hey, if you want to look up some patches, you can punch in the values.
Yeah. Again, it's I would think a lot of people wouldn't be interested in it because they just make everything from scratch on their MS1 or the SH101 or whatever. But some people might want to save it. So that'll be me. That's why I made the book.
Because your TD3 has patterns in it too, right? Suggested patterns.
Yeah,
That really helps out a lot. That's a great guide because I've seen drum machines that do that too. They'll have some guy writes a quick guide for most common drum patterns in a block.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, the TD3 book sells okay. I sold a few hundred of them, so they sell okay. Yeah. That's a thing that really helps because the TD3 sequencer is it's 40 years old. It's different, it's how they thought that would be a good idea, but turns out it is probably a good idea, but you're running blind more or less on it. So back in the day you would have had a patch sheet or a bit of paper and a pen, so that sells okay. I've got an RD6 one as well because I've got an RD6, so same idea. I feel like drum patterns are, but yeah, it's there is an audience for it because they do tend to sell every now and then. So
If you
whatever.
build it, they will come.
Well, yeah, I ain't going to buy a house from it, but yeah, I'll sell a few.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's something to do. I mean, I don't have a job at the minute because, like, where I'm at, so it's just something else to muck around with. So yeah, there you go. If I'm going to be housebound, I might as well do
Just got
something
a
in
new
there.
thing that Robbie will hate.
Oh
Student
God,
Tie Guy Radio
Euro,
501. Check this out, Robbie. It's a
Euro
nightmare.
track.
I don't hate
Yeah,
it.
this
It
thing's
just
great.
doesn't do it for me.
No,
It's
I'm
yeah,
not
it's
big
the
on
it's
Euro.
it's a messy format. So.
Oh, what's name came out today, didn't it? Cubase 13. Yeah,
13, yeah.
yeah. Looks quite interesting. Got a few little updates in it.
Yeah, I've got to watch a video before tomorrow's show. Dom Segalis has just done 25 new things in Cubase 13 because I
Yeah,
haven't
I've
used
seen that.
Cubase.
Yeah,
I haven't
that's a
used it
good
for
video.
years.
That's a good video.
Yeah, I need to watch that before tomorrow's show. Although I did message Kent and Ben this morning and said we're talking about this on Friday. You guys are Cubase guys. Get updated. So I
Yeah.
don't know what's been going on there, but
A lot of it looks like it's workflow enhancements, making
Yeah.
things a little bit easier.
yeah.
But they've also added an orchestra plugin as well, which apparently is quite light on CPU and sounds quite good. And it's fully featured. It's not just like a bit of an orchestra. It's like all the orchestra.
Yeah,
So
right.
it's quite good.
Do you guys
From
know
what I've
Jeff
heard, yeah.
Gibbons in Canada? Have you seen that guy before? He does a
No.
lot of NI content as well as Cubase content and stuff.
All right.
He had a video recently talking about some of the new features in Cubase. There's some.
Oh,
not totally new,
everyone
but
in
there
their
were some-
mother has made a Cubase video today. It's about
He
God
makes
knows
good
how
stuff though. He does. This one showed some granular stuff inside of Cubase. It was very clever. He actually took. He went to doctor. He had some atrial fibrillation thing, right? So
Right.
before he got the surgery to repair it, he was taking some meds and getting some guidance on how to survive until then. And he went and got the echocardiogram. If you ever heard one of those, it's a really weird sound. It's a
Sounds lovely.
echocardiogram. Yeah, but he sampled that and made a song out of it, and he has a really cool process of how he ran through Cubase with all these funky new features or recent features for granular stuff. One thing where you can choose, it will intelligently choose like something that's more percussive over something that's more melodic. Some different settings you can do, and it'll kind of choose for you and help you build out from one single sound. You can build out a whole library of sounds, like a drum kit or. So it's pretty clever stuff. I hadn't seen that before. So
I was going to say about Cubase or DAWs in general, it must be really difficult for these people doing an update of like, what do you update? I mean, they're quite mature as pieces of software. How do you make it that the update's actually interesting? It must be quite tough because they've all got what you need really. So yeah, it's hard work, I think, as a manufacturer of DAWs to go. We've got this. It's like their list must be quite hard each year to justify an update, or every couple of years.
And yet every year they seem to manage to do it and squeeze more money out of us, don't they? So
They do. Yeah, their marketing team must be working proper overtime to go. No, push this bit. This will help sales. It's tough, isn't it?
especially with Cubase. I mean, that's the one reason I left. I was Cubase from 1980 something through to early 2000s. It was SX1 was the last one I paid for. And I just
yeah,
got fed up with
SX3 or
paying-
something like that, a long time ago.
Yeah, and I just got fed up of paying every year for another update. And it wasn't, a small amount of money. It was always at least 100 quid, if not more. And back then, 100 quid was quite a bit of cash for me anyway. And I just thought, no, I can't do this. In the end, I said, no, I'm spending more time paying for something I'm not actually really using all of the features for. So
Yeah,
I
you
moved.
might have had a year gone by. You've got your update, not really used any of the new features, and they go, "Oh, got some new features in the new update." You're thinking,
Yeah,
"I haven't used the old ones yet. Hang on."
exactly.
It's a bit mad, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
like you're on a sort of like a an upgrade treadmill.
yeah,
You have
yeah,
to keep
exactly.
walking to learn the new bits. You know,
Yeah. I
it's
mean, I
mad.
don't mind paying for upgrades, but like every year, just oh come on,
Mm.
just give us a point release or something. But why? Yeah, so yeah.
So what do you use now then?
Well, now I'm mostly Logic,
Right.
um,
I
although I
can
still
see
have.
why, because all the upgrades are free. They're good.
Well,
I've got Logic, so yeah.
I got a Mac. What? I think my first Mac was 12, 13 years ago, and I thought, yeah, I'll get on board with Logic, but I was very much a Cubase, not Cubase, Reason person. When I left Cubase, I found that Reason really worked for me very well,
Right.
and I had got on Reason 3, I think it was, and because I got the Mac and it was working really well, and then I started to do more jobs where I needed to either be Cubase or Logic, and I didn't really want to go back to Cubase. And eventually, I thought, well, do you know what? It's like, I don't know how much it is now, but it was like 199 for Logic,
Yeah.
which is half
Half
more than
everybody else, isn't it?
yeah, and I've never paid for an upgrade, and
Yeah.
I've got it running on this, and I've got it running on my MacBook. Never pay,
Yeah.
I only pay for it once, and it works across all my devices,
Yeah.
and
It's hard
so
to argue to get somewhere to go somewhere else, isn't it? They
I
really
know,
need to like do something amazing in another DAW for you to go.
yeah, yeah.
I'm going to bin Logic.
I mean,
So
I still have Reason. I subscribe to the Reason thing, um, and I this year I got Ableton Live, which I've slowly been, getting into and actually really enjoying for the first time. I tried for years and years to get my head around it, and it just didn't work in my head. But now I don't know what something's changed about me, not about Live, and I do seem to understand it more, and I'm actually able to make things with it, although I don't get much of a chance. So I kind of have like Logic is my main thing, but Reason I can use the instruments and I can come up with ideas very quickly in Reason, and then I can move between the two quite easily.
is
So
Reason more like a playground? It's an easy place
it
to play.
feels like it, yeah. But I mean, it used to have this thing about it where people say, "Oh, it's just a toy because it's a closed environment. You can only use the instruments that Reason has in it, and that's that." And then, of course, they opened it up first of all to their own
Yeah. Rack
plug-in
extensions.
format rack extensions, and then they opened it up to VSTs. My only quibble with them is that, well, actually, I think it's improved now. I think they are supporting VST 3s because they were just VST 2s for a long while, and that was just really silly because, like, Roland Cloud, which I subscribe to on the Mac, only supports VST
3, I think.
3 and audio units,
Yeah.
and that meant that I couldn't use certain things in Reason. Most things in Reason, but now I can, so that's okay. So it's all kind of everything's come out in the wash, and it's all sort of fairly
good.
straightforward. Yeah, but most
Is
of the
Reason
time
all
I'm in
subscription, or do
Logic.
they still have two models?
No, you can have a perpetual license or a subscription model, and I only subscribe because I was on their test pilot program for many years, and when they first started doing the subscription model, the test pilot manager at Reason Studios said to us all, if you want to jump onto the subscription model, we'll discount you, and we'll discount you for life.
Ooh.
That was the offer. They'll discount us
Yeah.
for life. So I thought, fuck it, why not? I'll do that. And then about 6 months later, we all got this very humbly written email from this guy saying, basically, he didn't say this, but he basically said, I overstepped the mark when I offered it to you for life. That might not be the case, but we're going to try and keep it, this discounted level for you for as long as we possibly can. And then we never heard from him again. So I have a funny feeling that he was told to apologise, and then they fucking got rid of him. Although I can't, he might still be there. He might just not be doing that job. He might just be sweeping the floors now. But luckily, the discount has remained in place, so I get it for a very good price. So I think, well, I'll stick with it until if somebody turns around and says we're going to charge you full whack for it now, then I'll reassess whether I use it enough. But I still enjoy going in there because it's so immediate and I'm so familiar with it that I can just open it up and be making something instantly. So that's what appealed to me about it, was that as soon as I had an idea in my head, what would happen with Cubase, for example, is I'd start Cubase up and then you'd have to, I just couldn't get by the time I got things set up the way I wanted them, the idea had started to go. And so I was like, oh no, I need something that's immediate. And that's what Reason gave me. It gave me that kind of immediacy. And then when it started accepting plugins, then it was like, yeah, this is a good place to be. But, demands of things. I mean, I almost had to buy Cubase again a few years ago, and I was doing a project, and the guy that hired me said, I do everything in Cubase. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to have to blow my fee on just buying the bloody application to satisfy this project. And he may never hire me again. So I said to him, is there any way we can get around the whole Cubase thing? And he said, all right, look, I'll send you all the stems as audio stems and some MIDI stuff in there as well. And we worked around it that way. So thankfully I didn't have to buy it. But I almost bought it. Was it 2019 was it the 30th or 40th anniversary? They did a whole anniversary thing. It was 2019. I remember because I was in Toronto on business, and I thought, oh my god, I need to jump on this offer because they were giving it away for like the full version, Cubase Pro, whatever it was then, for £120 something, and I thought that's kind of a no-brainer. I'll get that, and then even if I only use it a couple of times or a job comes in, at least I've got it, and I'm on the ladder.
400 and something quid now, isn't it? Like
I know, yeah, and
it's a lot of money.
So I was in Toronto, and I thought, I was in my hotel room, and I went online, and of course it automatically pushes me to the Canadian Steinberg website, and I'm thinking, oh, if I buy it in Canada, if I have any tech support, is it a global thing or am I tied? And
can you license it? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't sure whether I could, what the support would be like. So then my phone goes, and it's my colleague saying, we're going out for dinner. Come on, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll sort it out later. Forgot all about it. Got home, landed in the UK, and I thought, I'll do it. Went on the website, and the offer had finished the day before.
Bloody hell!
So I emailed, I went onto the Steinberg website and sent a support.
I was on an aeroplane, please.
I said, look, I was going to buy it the other day, and blah blah blah, and explain the situation, and I get this very stern but polite email from Germany saying the offer has finished.
Yeah.
You are finished.
No exceptions. Yeah.
We shall not be giving you the discount.
Hello, chat. By the way, yes, I have popped the chat out, so I mean, I'll try and read a bit of it, but yeah.
So and then I thought, oh, fuck you then. And there was an offer on this year, I think it was, where they didn't word it very well, and it implied that I could update because I've got Cubase. Is it AI or Elements or something?
Oh yeah.
And I got that when Yamaha loaned me that Modi X7 Plus. It comes with a license for that version of Cubase.
Yeah, but they own Steinberg, don't they?
Exactly.
So, yeah.
So I thought, oh well, I'll install that. And then there was this offer that they had on earlier this year that said you could upgrade from that to the Pro version. And the way I read it, it was like for about 85 quid. So I thought, yeah, I'll do that. So I bought the update. And then went to install the key, and it says your key is not compatible with the version that you have registered on your account. And I could have sworn blind that. So I went back to the thing and I read it again. I thought, no, I'm sure I'm entitled to this. I'm sure I am. So another support ticket, and then I get the whole cut and paste job because obviously they have a lot of people doing this. Yeah. No, I'm afraid the version you have on your account is not compatible with this license key.
buy then.
It's the
Yeah,
modern
so,
version of "Can we see your papers?" Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Please.
I apologise to any Germans that are watching. I'm just being very light-hearted here. But no, I said, so I argued the toss and said, look, your advert doesn't make that at all clear, and when I go on your website, it allows me to buy that. Whereas if I go on to other websites, it won't allow me to buy the thing that I can't upgrade with, or to, or from.
Yeah.
But you did. You took my money and then tell me I can't do it. And I kicked up such a fuss that I didn't even get a response saying, I'm terribly sorry. I just noticed the money going back into my bank account. I thought, okay.
Whatever. Yeah. Annoying, isn't it?
It is. But yeah, nobody died.
No. And it's just software. And
It is.
all the DAWs are more or less the same. So,
Yeah.
you can have people going like, "Oh, this is the best one," or "This one." It's like, yeah, they're all. It's all basically musical spreadsheet. So
Yeah.
just pick one that looks like the one you like. Which ones have got the prettiest colours or
Yeah.
whatever.
I did upgrade to because I had Harrison Mix Bus, the basic one, I think it was. I got that for stupid, it was like 20 quid or something. And then they had an offer where you could upgrade to Mixbus 32C, which is their flagship DAW, and I could upgrade for like 75 quid. And lots of people had said to me it's really good for finishing off. So if you've created your pièce de résistance in Logic and then spat it all out as stems, throw all those into Harrison Mixbus, and it sounds amazing, and it does. So I don't use it very often.
Is it like a mastering thing then?
Well, no, it's a proper DAW, but because it's got the Harrison plugins and the emulation of the Harrison desks,
Right.
it has a real warmth to it. It's a really nice sounding thing. So,
Okay.
the more I've sort of spoken to people, the more people I found do the same thing. They have that, it's just sitting there for when once they've finished their projects, and they want to finish it off properly and master it, or at least get it to a level. They just stick it all through Mixbus 32, and it's pretty as well. It does the mixing page looks like a proper desk with proper
The
video
graphics
needle
are good.
meters.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That's another reason why you
Yeah.
choose it. It looks good. So yeah.
It does, yeah.
It sounds stupid, but if you're going to sit in front of a screen for hours on end, if the DAW looks good, then you'll probably sit in front of the
Exactly.
studio for hours on end, and you get work done.
That was a big mistake I made with Reaper. So I got Reaper, and somebody said, "Oh, have you seen you can get skins for Reaper?" Oh, really? So I did a bit, and there's one skin, I can't remember its name, but it's magnificent. I mean, it's designed for use with huge monitors,
Right.
because it's so high resolution that if you put it into its proper full on mode, even on a big 27-inch screen, it's still kind of like huge thing, but it looks amazing. It's just stunning. It looks like a proper mixing desk from the 70s, and it's gorgeous. And then I sat there thinking, hang on a minute, this is a fucking digital audio workstation. I'm not supposed to be sat here looking at it, getting all moist about the gusset.
Yeah.
So
It's weird. You noticed? I'm not sure all plugins, but most plugins you can actually turn off the skin. You see the plugin behind it. I noticed that on the Roland plugins you can turn that off, and you just end up with like a list and some sliders.
Yeah.
We can turn it back on again, and bang, looks like a Jupiter 8.
That's
Yeah.
it, yeah.
It's the same thing. It's just a picture and an interface to make you to make it look more appealing and to help support the. No, it sounds like a Jupiter 8 because it looks like one, doesn't it? So it definitely sounds like one.
There is a psychological thing, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. And
also,
when you're buying something, you're looking at it to buy it, but the thing you're buying is sound, not vision.
Yeah.
But it sells.
But
It's
a good GUI is really useful because obviously, especially with synthesizers, we're all kind of used to having the hardware in front of us and seeing that layout and understanding where everything is. So, if you're given the option of having a very nicely drawn Jupiter 8 front panel or a square with some numbers and sliders in, You're
Yeah.
going to go for the Jupiter 8 thing, not just because it looks pretty, but because you know that the filters are over here and that the oscillators are over there, and it's just
Yeah,
it's very useful.
it is pretty, but it also makes sense. It
Yeah, yeah.
helps you edit it, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. See, I
Crazy.
don't like with the Roland stuff. Like, I love all of their legendary, what they call them, legendary plugins with the proper GUIs and everything.
yeah,
And the Xenology stuff is all done very flat.
yeah. Looks a bit yucky, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm thinking I don't really like that. I'd
Looks a
rather
bit cheap.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, some of the sounds are great, but visually, it's just like, oh yeah, okay, it doesn't. Yeah. Looks like
It's weird, isn't it? Again, that's played. It's the look is, even though it sounds good, you're going, I'm not going to use that. I'll use one with the pretty picture.
Yeah, yeah,
It's mad, but it's true.
Yeah,
It's like,
absolutely.
crazy if you think about it.
Yeah, indeed.
Mad stuff. I'm doing a remix, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know, Boo, Battery Operated
Yes.
Orchestra, and
Oh, yeah, I
remixing
saw
one of
that.
their songs.
Yeah, I got an email because I'm subscribed to them on Bandcamp or whatever,
Yeah,
and they said they make a mistake with an email they
Yeah,
sent out
me.
the stems.
yeah,
Yeah.
me.
And I saw your I saw Cresshead in there. I thought, what's this? And then like an hour later, they said, oh, we sent the wrong email out to everyone. It should have only gone. I'm assuming it should have only gone to you.
Yeah,
But I mean, they turned around and said, "Oh, go on then. Here are the stems. Do your worst." So yeah.
yeah. I'm halfway there.
Oh, cool. Well,
It's like
good to hear
I'm a bit thick as well. It's like, what keys in? I don't know. So I found an app on the internet. You just upload the song and it tells you what key it's in. So that
Yeah.
helps. And it also tells you the right BPM. But I mean, the stems had the BPM anyway.
All right.
No.
Yeah.
So I've downloaded all the stems. I've then sampled out. Well, we'll use Logic to chop up the bits I want into little bits of audio, and I put them in the MPC.
Okay.
And so far, I've deleted everything apart from a little bit of Bridget. So all I've kept is the BPM and a couple of bits of Bridget, and then I've built everything else around that. I mean, I mean, there's two ways of running a remix. I think either you get the original stems and you remix it. You might add some extra effects and drop this out, and you might change the arrangement, but you're using the stems. Or the way I do it, which like you sort of throw everything in, you go yeah, and then delete everything and do your version. So I'm just doing. I don't know how it's going to go down. It's either going to be I quite like it or it's a disaster. I don't know. I'll find out. But,
I did a remix for a woman called Olivia Broadfield, who I don't know if she's still active, but she got a lot of sort of notoriety for doing syncs for American TV shows, like the kind of the episodical things about young or teenager stroke young adults, with all the she used to do all the kind of the little music bits. I think she got a couple of Apple gigs as well or something.
Okay.
But I did this disco remix.
It's like the old after-school specials we used to have on TV.
Yeah, that sort of thing. And she had this track called "Stay," and it's a really kind of slow ballady thing, and about asking the person that she's there with in the evening to stay a little bit longer, and it was all very kind of of its time, which was probably about 10, 12 years ago. And I got this thing, and I thought I could hear this disco version in my head. I was listening to it, I thought, if I just speed it up a little bit, I could do it. This could actually, and I did this. It was like a proper, full-on, chic disco remix.
All right, cool.
And I sent it back to her. I never heard anything back.
Well, you don't know, do you, with remixes, if it's going to land right or not. I mean, like this one, I don't know if they're going to like it or not. And they might absolutely go, "Oh, where's my vocals gone?" You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's the only thing I kept was her vocals, and then this little bit of processed vocals, which is it's kind of what inspired the feel. Because when I sort of sped it up a bit, I could hear this kind of thing, and it was just like it just suggested a big disco thing. So I did the whole had the proper, the drums were proper disco drums, and then there was strings in there, and there was guitar, and proper funky bass, and literally stripped, like you said, stripped everything out bar her vocal, which I left completely untreated from the original, and then this little kind of vocal refrain that was kind of going on in the background. Everything else was just like full on 70s disco.
Well,
I thought
yeah.
it was great. But
Oh yeah, I mean, like I say, there's two ways of doing a remix. You either just rearrange what you've got, like you've got a jigsaw puzzle pieces, and you just go and make a new picture with the existing pieces, or you go like, well, this is the idea of it. I'll base that idea and then go off on my own little tangent.
Yeah.
I mean, I've kept the bass line. I've kept, apart from I'm playing it on my synth rather than using the
Right.
sample,
Yeah,
because I wanted to run a filter on it and do different things. I thought I'll just it's only got 3 notes. I can work out what the notes are. So yeah, well, I think I can. I'll find out. And then I did my own little thing on top, and it's different. It's the same speed. That's all I can say. That's where we're at with it. How it's going to go down, I don't know. Wagyu says sounds like you're doing a cover rather than a remix. But yeah, mate. Well, no, I don't know. So yeah, you'll find out probably if you go on the Discord when it goes up.
So I got told that when I did this remix, I got told that unless I was contacted, I was not to do anything with it. If I never heard anything, I should.
Oh right, yeah, don't put it out.
Yeah, don't put it out.
Yeah.
It's up if anybody wants to listen to it. It's on my SoundCloud page.
Right.
It's up there, and then you only have to go and Google the original. You can hear how different it was, but yeah.
I mean, all I did was I made a comment like, I'm listening to one of the tracks, thinking, oh yeah, I got an idea of what I would do as a just as a comment. Then all of a sudden it's like, here's the stems, go and make a remix. Like, oh, okay, yeah. I'm not a remixer. This is my second remix.
Yeah.
My first remix was like in the 80s when I recorded a band, it was like an electronic duo band, and I thought I could do better myself. So I had a FZ1 sampler, so I sampled the vocals and redid it. And then when it came to put it out, they put my remix as their track, and their B-side was their A-side.
All right. Cool.
So yeah, well, I'm not saying it's like this thing's gonna be brilliant. It's just different. It's definitely not the same. So yeah.
Yeah, what's your take on that FZ1? I have one, but never quite got into it. I know it has some powerful features, but
for its time, it was really good.
Yeah.
Really good. Because when I was looking at it, I was a proper Yamaha freak in the 80s. Everything that I bought was Yamaha, which Robbie's now going, oh yeah, good lad, yeah. Well, I did. I just bought the Yamaha music computer, an FB01, an RX11, SPX90, SY77. I can't remember. Loads of all Yamaha basically. RX11, RX5 as well, RY30, whatever, loads. TG33.
Yeah.
I bought a total Yamaha nut. So I thought, oh, Yamaha's got a sampler out. Right, have a look at that, and thought, God, I hate this fucking sampler. It's a nightmare, the interface on it. Thought,
TS16W,
no.
yeah.
So I was looking at a similar time, there was the S10, I think it was, Roland S10. Then there was a W30, and there was what else was out then? There's the emulator, if you had £1 billion to go and buy one of them. Or an Emax. What else was there? That's probably the affordable. Oh, the Ensoniq as well. I didn't like the look of the Ensoniq display. It's like, no, not interested. Then I looked at the Casio. You think Casio? I'll look, and it's got a proper display. You can actually see the waveform.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, right. It's got 8 outputs. Okay, and you've got a HD floppy disk, so you can record I think it was 30 seconds, I think, something like that, which is massive back then. So it's nothing now, but back then it was huge.
Like complex envelopes. It had a bunch of other crazy stuff in it.
Yeah, you could draw your own envelopes. You could actually draw an envelope. Got 8 outputs on it. it weighed a fucking ton. I don't know what. I mean,
It does.
I'm guessing it's got lead inside it because it
It's
must have.
very
'Cause it
strong
weighs
because
so
mine's
much.
at the bottom of that stack right there, and it's holding all that weight. So
Have you got the keyboard or the module?
I actually later on I got the keyboard version as well, but I have the is it the FC10M?
It's the
I think it is.
FZ10M is a module.
Yeah, yeah. But I have the FC1 keyboard somewhere in here in the keyboard stack.
Yeah.
Just
I had
because it
all
was
the,
cheap and it was available, you know.
Yeah, I bought it twice. I can't. I don't know how it worked out like that, but I bought it once. I sold it to my mate, who then got in contact with, what's his name? Dansky's brother, whatever his name is.
Oh, Mark.
Mark, yeah, who then ran the Casio sample library. And then when I think I bought the FZ10 back off my mate because he moved on to he moved on to emulator Proteus modules. I bought it off him again, and he gave me the entire Casio library. So I had that for a few years, and then got rid of it. But yeah, mad, great sampler, really good. But that was back then in the late 80s, early 90s.
The screen wasn't great though, because the VZ10 had the similar screen on it. I don't like the screens on those.
But you could see the waveform, so
you could see the waveform and stuff, but the refresh rate was bad. It was.
Could you see the waveform
the
on
backlight wasn't very good.
No.
Yeah, well, that's true. Well, not even on the Emacs, really. It's just kind of a little series of lines that are kind of like this.
Yeah. The looping on the Casio was not great for making loop points. That was really hard work.
Oh, did it crossfade loops?
I don't think it did. Or if it did, I didn't figure it out. But I think the Akai had some software to do it inside the Akai for doing crossfade loops. But this is early days of samplers, isn't it?
I learned to do it by ear on the Emacs too, and it was invaluable.
Rob is just nodding in the background
and
thinking, "Oh, I've got Fairlight. Shut up."
Oh no, seriously, the Emu is whether it's an emulator or an Emacs, you just do it by ear. It's just so simple. You just just keep playing the note, and you just move the slider into this. Oh, there it is. That's it. Done. Job done. It's so
well, yeah. It's probably down to me being stupid then on the Casio. Maybe I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, it's valuable because a lot of times people just do it visually, and it's actually better to do it by ear because sometimes visually is not quite right. So
exactly.
Well, yeah. If you've got a ropey display, then it doesn't help, does it?
But people claim, "Oh, this is high res. I could do everything here. I don't need to even know what I'm doing. I just do it by following the graphics," and then it sounds like ass, So
yeah. Well, yeah. Samplers are cool though. I've always liked samplers because you can do anything with a sampler. It's like it's the ultimate keyboard in my book. You're not trying to you can be anything, can't it?
Especially on like a V-synth where you can do the elastic audio and all kinds of weird shit on there. It's really fun.
Of course, I've got an MPC now. That's like a really good sampler.
Oh, yeah.
But weirdly, most people who run MPCs don't sample shit on it. Don't do anything.
Buy libraries. Yeah,
they go buy sample pack. It's like, what? It's a sampler. It's got inputs on the back. You can sample on it. Try sampling something. Oh, no, I'm going to buy a sample pack.
Well, that's how guys like Av McCree make all their money. They just sell sample packs.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. If I had a brain, I'd go make a sample pack probably and try and flog it. But I'd sooner make music, to be honest, rather than do that. I don't get sample packs. I don't understand it. It's like it's
I mean, for an exotic thing I can't get my hands on, of course, it's worth it. Like, I have an Arhu, but I don't know how to play it, so I'll just get a sample pack of one, right?
Yeah. If you got some weird musical device you want to get hold of, then
or don't have the skills to play a certain riff a certain way that should be a sample and not just a live instrument, then a sample pack can be useful for that too.
Yeah, true. I mean, I think a lot of these sample packs you get are like bass lines and drum loops and female vocal yelps and singings and
a lot of the simple building blocks people can do themselves.
Yeah. So I get it. It's like you end up with like a Lego brick sort of way of doing it. You just put some bricks together, you made a song. But you're not actually recorded any music yourself. You're not really playing it. You're just assembling
in the 90s, wasn't it? Those sample CDs that just had libraries of
the Bob Clearmount stuff was excellent.
I
Who-
mean, some of it was good, but a lot of it was just like loops and breaks and vocals and
Yeah.
you just think
Even
all you do
even
is
Erasure
just-
had the Lucky Bastard CD was pretty good.
yeah, Vince's Lucky
Yeah, I got
Bastard.
that.
And,
Or
and
had
I have
that.
the Art of Noise one as well that JJ put
Oh
out.
yeah, JJ Love sampling. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a pretty good
I mean
one too.
that's not so bad because it is just a collection of
Yeah.
one hits that you just then sample in, and you can do. But at the end of the day, you're copying somebody else's samples, and if you're using these loop things, the bassist and the drummer from the new Power Generation, Prince's rhythm section, did a couple of sample CDs called Smooth Grooves, and it was just basically it was Michael Bland drums and Sonny T's bass lines, and they're brilliant. But you start using them, and it's just their stuff, and you think, actually, no, I want it to do this, but you can't make it. And then you end up slicing the sample, and I could have just played that in myself, or just done So
Well, that's the thing. You watch the old Peter Gabriel thing where he's doing this stuff for security in the junkyard, and look how much fun he's having. It's fun like that.
Exactly.
And people don't try it. They just buy the shit.
Yeah, which is why things like the sample track are really good fun, because you can just plug a microphone into that, or you don't even have to plug a microphone. You can use the built-in
one,
microphone.
isn't it?
And then you can just wherever you are, if you're just tapping your fingers and you think, that sounds interesting, I'll just sample that, and then you can start building your own stuff. I mean, I've talked about it for years that because I've got an Akai S6000 and the detachable panel. I thought if somebody could make a sampler in that form factor that's like handheld, that you could then sample and then edit it all on and then just output it, that'd be great. And to a point, the Sonicware, the sample track is kind of like that.
Yeah.
I'd love it to have a screen as big as the Akai, but
Yeah, screen's a bit small, isn't it? But yeah.
it
But then
is-
again, the
it
whole
is-
thing's small, so
it
what
is
can you
small.
do?
It's proportionate, and when you're using it, you don't actually sit there going, oh, I can't see. Everything that you need to see is there, and it's the resolution is good enough for it to be clear. So it's a good compromise, I think. It's,
Yeah, I went out with a Zoom H2N to do some sampling for one of my tracks. Because I went on a cycle ride, and you have to go. It's like on this track, and then you have to go through these gates to stop the sheep from coming into the field or whatever. And I opened this gate. It's so rusty and creaky. Thought, this sounds amazing. So turned my bike around, rode home, got my Zoom 2N, came back out and recorded that, and then turned that into a drum kit. Put it into the MPC, and that was a drum kit, and it sounded like really. And then you slowed it down, it sounded even better. Got like various hits, and it's had like a spring on it to keep it shut, and that went dying. That was like great sound on it. I love the idea of sampling stuff.
Do you do the lazy chop or you do the manual stuff?
Oh, just manual.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've probably don't. When you do all this, what they call it, chopping.
It's lazy chop, and there's different types of chopping. Yeah.
No, I'm too stupid.
Auto chop, lazy chop. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've looked at it once and went, yeah, that's not for me. I'll just do it my way. So
They're really good at finding transients, so sometimes if you're in a hurry, it helps a lot.
Yeah.
I was in a
You can just
MRI
override it.
scanner the other week.
Oh yeah.
I was having my head scanned because with something to do with
I
my eyes.
went in. I did one of them when I had my stroke. It was. I don't know what it's like for you. It was absolutely mental for me.
Yeah,
because I was also really ill at the time.
Oh,
So it was
right.
just mad.
It's like a rapid fire banging, right? It's like bang, bang,
Well,
bang,
there
bang,
was
bang,
all
coming.
sorts of different things because I'd got the headphone ear defenders thing on, and my head is in.
They
in a
encase your
brace.
head, don't they? So you
I
can't
was-
move it.
They put a thing, so it was just like this, and they sent me in and they said, they came across on the earphones and they said, right, first scan is going to take 30 seconds, and so they do this scan, and there's a whole bunch of noises that you can hear, quite loud, obviously, and then I had about 7 or 8 different scans. Each time they would be preceded with them from the control room saying this scan's going to take 4 minutes and this scan's going to take 3 minutes, and each scan sounded different. It was a different rhythm to the knocking, or
Yeah, it's a magnetic resonance
yeah,
thing, isn't it? Yeah.
that's it. But there was one particular thing where the sound, I don't know what it was that was generating it, but I'm sat there listening to it, and I'm just sat there thinking, damn, I wish I had a sampler, because if I took that sound and used like a little granular thing, it would make all I could hear in my head was this choir. It was almost like the PPG Patch T400 on the Waveterm, that big cathedral choir that was quite famously used, propaganda used it and stuff, and it was almost like a snippet of that just going duh, and I thought, if I could sample that and then just go into it with the grand, and I'm sat there doing all this stuff in my head thinking, that's what I should be doing. And then I thought, actually, if I had a sampler in here right now, it'd be ripped to pieces by all the magnetism.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
So,
But when I had my MRI scan, I was in for over 20 minutes. They said like it'll take 20 minutes. When you're halfway through, we'll let you know. And I don't know. I was inside this thing for it just seemed like forever. And I just had a stroke, so I was trying to work out what the damage was in my head and whatever.
Yeah.
So I wasn't very well anyway. Like everything was spinning already. But to me, being inside the MRI scanner was like if you got one of the biggest PAs and you wrap it around your head and then you played the intro to Doctor Who for 20 minutes. That's the MRI scanner for me. It was mental, absolutely nuts. But worth doing because I'm still here. But yeah.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
But it was really this was one at Leicester, Leicester Royal Infirmary, and it was so loud, it was unreal. And did you notice how cold the room was as well?
Honestly,
the room was really cold.
I didn't. It was. It
was
a
where I
fairly
was.
small room. I mean, I say it's a fairly small room. Yeah, I got walked into one room and got told to put all my belongings into this little locker. I didn't have to didn't have to put a gown on or anything because it was just my head, so I didn't have to get undressed or anything. And then the nurse takes me through through this other door, and I'm into a corridor. And she says, "Right, we're going to take you into the room, and then we're just going to lie you on the thing, and we'll get your head sorted out, and then we'll just bring you into this thing, and then we'll just do the tests." And so I didn't really get a chance to look around the room at all. It was just kind of straight in, lie on the bed, and then I'm looking up, and then of course all I can see is this big fucking donut. And she said, "Yeah, we'll just put this thing on your head." And I'm like, "Okay, now I felt like I've been put into an Iron Maiden or something."
Yeah,
and,
I had
They
both.
put that thing where you can't move your head, the little brace.
Yes, I had to lie on
Yeah.
this thing, and I had a neck thing that I just thought it was just like a cushion like that. So I thought, I'm just going to lie here like this. And then she says, "Right, now here are
Don't
your
move.
ear defenders," and she puts those on me. And then the next thing they both got this thing, and they said, "No, we're just going to put this on your head. There's a bit on there, and there's a bit here."
You can't move.
And you hear the sort of like as they lock it in place. And I'm thinking, but it was fun, and I came out of it, and the nurse said, "Oh, look, he's smiling." I said, "Yeah, it was great."
Did they give you the button? Did you have a button?
Yes, yeah, a little button to hold.
If you don't like it, press the button. But they said that to me. But they said like, we really need to do the MRI scan. We need to find out what's going on there. So try not to press the button.
You can imagine people having panic attacks.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yes, it's proper. I mean, a CAT scan is nothing compared to an MRI scan. CAT scan takes a few. I don't know. I can't really remember it. It took hardly any time at all. But the MRI scan just seemed to go on forever. It was nuts. But obviously, they were doing lots of different scans to try and work out what was going on in my head, which isn't a lot at the best of times. But it took forever, and it was going on forever and ever and ever. And then I've got headphones, and they can talk to you in the headphones, and it all wound down. I thought, fuck, that's finished. It says, "Okay, we're halfway through." It's like, what? I've been here forever. Halfway through, bloody hell.
That's why they give you the button.
Yeah. Oh God. And then off we went again.
Because I was having because this is all for my eyes.
Right.
Because I've got
you got
glaucoma
or something. Is that right?
Yeah. But when I went in, my optician found something. They referred me to the hospital. I went and had a proper, consultation where they put all the lenses on and scanning of the eyes and all this kind of stuff. And then they said, "Yeah, we're going to give you this laser treatment," which basically they fire a laser around the edge of the iris, which is like, it gently bruises the area, and which then draws in the white blood cells, which then help the mesh that drains the fluid to drain more fluid.
Yeah.
That was the idea. But then they called me back and said, yeah, your eye pressures they fluctuate. Sometimes they're okay, and then other times they're not, and they're glaucoma, ready kind of pressures. So the doctor said, I really wish we hadn't done that laser treatment. Now I thought, oh, now you fucking tell me.
God, there's no undo button, is there?
Yeah. So she said, no, what we're going to do, we're just going to rule out a bunch of stuff. So she said, don't worry, we're going to book you in for an MRI. We just want to make sure that there's nothing untoward going on from like the back of the eye through to the brain, down the optic nerve. So we're going to just do an MRI. So that's all it basically was. I was only in there for like half an hour, I think it was. And
I used to recommend weed for glaucoma pressure.
That's right. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. But I've got to go in on the 22nd again for a phased pressure test, which means I go in at 8:45. They take the pressures, and then they say fuck off and come back in 2 hours time, and then I then just sit around for 2 hours and then go in and have another one, and I do that all day. So that they see me for 10 minutes to take some pressures, and then I can do.
They're trying to work out how your body works. It's a bit like taking your blood pressure, isn't it?
Yeah,
exactly. Your eye pressure.
I've had that eye gust thing with an eye.
Yeah, well, this is that. Yeah, but
yeah,
the one in the hospital. See, when I go to my optician, I do. They do all the eye pressure stuff, and you sit there like with your head and your thing, and then it goes.
Yeah.
You sort of jolt, don't you? Because you can't help yourself. But when I had them done at the hospital, there was no machine. It was just like a little handheld. It was like a Doctor Who thing, and she just goes like that, and there's just like some really gentle puffs, and you just don't really notice it.
Was it a sonic screwdriver?
It's kind of like it was just like, and she look, your pressure's this and whatever. So I got to do that, which is going to be a really fun day because my hospital is like 20 miles away. So by the time I finished, if I had my pressure test, jump in my car, come home, I would need then to literally just turn around and go back again to get through the traffic. So I might as well just stay in the hospital. So they've got a pretty big Costa there, so I might just sit down and take my.
After that, you could get your kids to run like a pit stop. So when you come home, they quickly like feed you up and then send you out again. But yeah,
fat chance. Yeah. Well, my PlayStation 5's disk drive went kaput the other day, and luckily there's actually a repair shop just around the corner from the hospital. So between two of the tests, I'm going to take it into him, and then go back to the hospital, have a couple of tests, and then go back and pick it up, so I can kill two birds with one stone. But
cool.
Yeah.
Is it a recent thing, your glaucoma? Or you had it for ages?
No, well, they picked it up a couple of years ago, but my mum had it. She got diagnosed with it years ago, and of course the NHS, you can have, if you've got a direct family member that's got glaucoma, then
and they'll test for it.
They'll test for it every year. You have an eye test every year, and it's all free. So I went for a test, and they do the whole scans and everything, and then I think they picked up the peripheral test, the peripheral vision test.
Yeah.
That's where they think they picked this little dark spot up that wasn't functioning. It wasn't responding quite well, and so I got called back in, and they did another one because they thought the test hadn't worked properly, and it gave the same result. So then they sent me to the hospital, and then I saw the proper eye consultant who use all these lenses that they put on your eyeball, and then they do all these lasers.
Quite worrying, isn't it? Because you'd like to use your eyes.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, they got it early. That's the good thing, because of the fact that my mum's got it. Because my mum takes drops every day, and she's fine. And because of that, I've been getting regularly checked every year, and it's just that first instance where something wasn't quite right. They said, right, okay, let's get this checked out. So at the moment, my vision is absolutely fine, and if I, whatever treatment they decide to give me, whether they give me drops or whether they do because the laser thing that I had done should last around 5 years, and then if your pressures start to rise again, they just do it again, but it only works like 2 or 3 times, and after that, then you probably have to go on drops. But
yeah, one of my ex-girlfriends had glaucoma. Well, she probably still got it. But back in the 90s, and they just gave her different contact lenses to wear because her eyes were. I just noticed when she was trying to read something, it's like you can't see what you're reading, can you? She went, oh, yeah. She had to like right close to her, or not right. You need to go to a doctor. So she got she got found out she got glaucoma and had contact lenses. But I'd imagine that's quite bad if your eyesight is really that. Her eyesight was terrible. You know.
I mean, I have glasses. I wear these are varifocals. I've got 3 different prescriptions in those. But it's not. I'm not terrible. I say I don't wear them here, and I can read everything that's on the screen. And so my eyes.
She was only 18 when she got glaucoma. She's not old,
That's young, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
But if you leave it untreated, then once the damage is done, the damage is done. You can't reverse it.
Yeah.
So that's why they want to get you on. They find it. The sooner they find it, the sooner they can deal with it, and the better the prognosis is. So.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. Don't want to do any more fucking. I mean, pills I take anyway is just madness. So.
Yeah, I take 6 pills a day. I should rattle.
Yeah, well, I think. What did I say? The last count. It was 9. I take 9 in the morning.
Oh God,
2
on me.
2 at dinner, 2 at night. So what's that? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 tablets.
I have 4 in the morning and 2 at night.
Yeah.
But that's the alternative to that is either being in a pine box or being in hospital again. So
exactly,
pills are fine. Can't complain, can you?
Well, they upped my dose because I'm type 2 diabetic, and they upped my dose of metformin earlier this year, and hopefully that's working because it was working with the previous dose. It just wasn't working as much as they'd like it to. So they said you've got 2 choices. They said you can up the dose of the drug that you're on, which is metformin, and obviously the one of the side effects that I'm experiencing, a lot of people experience, is you get you fart a lot more than you normally do, so it increases your wind output.
So you got double gas. You got gas for synthesizers and gas.
Yeah. So I mean, my wife says, "How would we know? How would we tell the difference?" Because apparently I fart a lot anyway.
Okay. So you'll tell the difference. You wait.
Well, yeah. Well, and she said the other drug that we can give is a different drug, but its side effect is it's not so much a side effect as it's how it gets rid of the sugars and stuff. Is it does it through the urine, so you wee a lot more.
Okay.
And so luckily I've got a friend who you might all know, Simon Alexander, and he and I both have type 2 diabetes. I'm sure he won't mind me saying that. But he was on metformin, or what he called metfartin, and he really suffered. So he went on to this other one, and he said if he'd rather wee more than fart more. But I guess he's an airline pilot, and I suppose if you're in a confined space, you don't want to be going all the time. So,
right.
But I saw Simon at Synthfest beginning of October. My God, he's done well. He's lost a ton of weight. So hopefully he can reverse his. He looked really good. But so I said no. I don't mind farting. I sit in this room most of the time, so I sit in my own.
Well, we're all old farts here anyway. So what's
Exactly.
different? I had my MOT the other day, so my blood test through that. That's all good.
Yeah.
So carry on.
That's when they found out that the drug that I'm on is working well, but not as well as they'd like it. So that's why.
Yeah. I had one of my drugs upped, and I got a choice. Again, I got a choice of 2, and I chose the one that was easier to swallow.
Yeah.
Because one of my things when I got on my stroke was I couldn't swallow food or water, so I was on a thing down my nose to get fed.
Oh.
So I got my swallow back though, so I can swallow food now. Yeah. But anything that's going to be easier to swallow, I'd sooner I'll go with smaller tablet. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, some of my tablets are like fucking horse tranquilizers, big old things, and then others are so flipping small.
Yeah.
Like my my beta blocker that I take for my atrial fibrillation is a tiny little fucking thing. The amount of times I drop those and think, what the fuck? Oh, Jesus. The
Yeah.
cat will probably eat them. But,
Hopefully not.
well, yeah. But,
Mad, isn't it?
it is. Yeah.
It's a crazy world, but we're still here. So
Well, this is it. Modern science, modern medical science. It's
yeah. If I had what I had like 10 or 15 years ago, I probably wouldn't be here. So great, really.
Yeah.
But, although some people might disagree. but whatever. They'll have to live with it, won't they?
Yeah.
Fun and games. Let's try and get back to music. We've been talking about health. We're going to bore the chat to death with health, haven't we? What else is happening then? What's health? What else is new, kicking around music world?
I saw a Fismo and Reverb for about $4,000.
Jesus.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's mental. Yeah, I noticed DX7s are going up slowly but surely.
All right.
You used to be able, but a couple of years ago, they were sort of like, you could get one with 350, 400. Now you're looking at 700, 800. Some of them are even more than that. It's just
That's probably your fault,
probably.
Yeah, you guys contributed to that.
Yeah. No, there's not been a huge amount out this week, has there, really?
Not really.
Hardware-wise, it hasn't. There's a few bits of software, but...
Yeah, and there's the obligatory 5,000 euro racks come out this week, but I'm not really interested in euro racks. I'm not really interested in plugins, to be honest, because most DAWs have what you need to do, what you need.
Tell you what, I did see. DW Drums have just released two things that are really very interesting. One is they've released a drum kit that is both acoustic and electronic, so you can pick and choose which method you want to use. That was quite cool.
Didn't Roland buy DW?
Exactly,
Right?
And this is where all that's come from.
Right. Oh, okay. Right.
And the other thing they've done is they've released their a drum plugin, which contains a whole bunch of sampled drum kits, and it's available through the Rolling Cloud program, but you have to pay. It's $199. So,
but at the end of the year, you can get a lifetime license if you really like it.
No, but you have to pay. Doesn't matter whether you're a subscriber or not. This is a paid purchase, but you can only purchase it through
right,
the Rolling Cloud. So yeah, it's $199. Because that's what I got all excited. I saw that and it said available through the Rolling Cloud. So I go to the Rolling store and it says download via the Rolling Cloud. It only costs £199. And I'm like, I'm already invested in Superior Drummer, so I'm not going to spend another couple of hundred on something that I may or may not use.
Yeah,
but nice to see, that kind of synergy. Oh, I hate that word, but that's that synergy between Roland and
Mix.
DW.
Yeah, it's hybrid, isn't it? So it's a mix.
Yeah. But I wouldn't mind having a go on one of those acoustic stroke electric kits, because that sounds quite.
Yeah, there's a guy on YouTube called 65 Drums. He reviews loads and loads of drum kits. He's really good. He's pretty honest guy. Well, he's an honest guy, and he actually shows you it. So even if he was being paid to show you something, you just listen to it and you see him playing it, and you get a good idea if it's any good or not. So he's quite good.
No, I wouldn't. I don't know. I mean, I was looking at the DW drums, thinking, because I get pissed off. The only thing that really pisses me off about Superior Drummer is that it's a great program and the libraries for it are really, really good, but they're also very expensive, and they also tend to focus on heavy metal.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I've probably got all the non-heavy metal libraries, like the custom indie kits and stuff. And then they've done the range like they did Hansa drums, so 3 or 4 drum kits sampled at Hansa Studios, and then they did a couple of like names, like producers. They did a Hugh Padgham one actually, which I was really interested in. But they never put them on sale. They do a sale like twice a year, and it's the same basic kits that they put on sale, and not the The ones you
Not
really
not the
don't
ones
want.
you want. It's the ones
Yeah.
that you're not interested in that go on sale. Yeah,
That's
that's
it.
annoying, isn't it?
Because I really wanted those Hugh Padgham ones because that's a classic. They've sampled basically a kit that's very much like Phil Collins' kit was, in the 80s.
All
And
right.
there's a Simmons, I think they've got in there as well, and a couple of others. And it sounds amazing. But it's
Yeah, I think the heavy metal kits sell because a lot of producers use it when they're doing
yeah.
heavy metal albums and stuff.
So they've just released another one, and it says, I was getting quite excited. I thought, I wonder what this is. And then it comes out, and it's like, we've gone back to our roots, and it's more Swedish heavy metal drummers. Fucking hell.
There's a lot of it. Sweden must be like,
Scandinavian heavy metal, yeah.
wow, just Sweden must have the most amount of heavy metal bands on the planet.
Yeah.
It just my my mate who's a drummer, he's really into he's a heavy metal guy, double bass drum kit and all that. But he loves all these Swedish bands, and
Yeah.
every time I go around, found these as well. They're really good, aren't they? Got really nice, like usually got a really nice female singer. Some have like an orchestra on stage with them and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's quite popular. It might not be what we like.
Mm.
But there's a big audience out there that do like it.
Oh, yeah, well, that's clearly, they wouldn't make them if there wasn't. If they
No,
didn't
well,
know
yeah,
they were going
exactly,
to sell
yeah,
them. But
true. I mean, occasionally you'd like you want to go there and like, where's the new jazz kits then? Where are they?
Mm.
But yeah, there you go.
But I mean, I really, when I first started using Superior Drummer with the Alesis kit, it was just amazing to have a kit that sounded so good just coming out of this affordable Alesis thing. It was it was such a monumental shift from the stuff that you get in the actual unit itself. Which was,
Yeah, I've got a Roland TD30. Sounds pretty good.
right, yeah.
It's obviously
Yeah.
not going to be like a Steven Slater or a whatever kit, but it still sounds, for me, it sounds good enough for me.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Well, it's
I'm fine with
modelled. A lot of it's modelled, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I like the interface because you can go into it. You can change the shell depth, what the shell's made of, the diameter of it. You get like a visual representation of it. Again, it sort of works on that visual side to it. Really helps.
Oh yeah.
You can add little bits of tape and stuff on it to dampen it and all that sort of stuff. You can change the strength of the snare underneath it. It's like all it's really doing is probably changing the sample length or the pitch or something like that. But if it looks cool, it helps your brain go, yeah, I'm making a good difference here.
Well, to say most of the sounds in the Roland kits are modelled, or they're at least partially modelled. So what you're changing there is probably affecting. It's not just a sample; it's a mathematical model.
Yeah. It's that supernatural thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Supernatural acoustic.
But I mean, the Superior Drummer stuff is so. I mean, that is 100% multi samples, but it's so detailed. The amount of multi samples and like the hi hats. I've got the continuous hi hat pedal on my kit, so it's always sending a message, and you can get so much detail.
That's what I found on my Roland. Out of all the things that I play on my Roland kit, the hi-hats are the thing that goes, not a drum machine, sounds like cymbals, sounds actually like proper fucking cymbals. Because you've not got that machine gun sort of sound, the same sample, louder or quieter. It's like it's a different sample, or it's got something working with it. It's changing over time. So pretty cool.
Wagyu's just mentioned that Millennium. There's Millennium, which is Thoman's own brand.
Yeah,
they just did this thing called the MPS 1000, which is full size shells, but it's an electronic kit with mesh heads.
All right.
And it's like you can either have 1 up, 2 down, or 2 up, 1 down with your toms. So it's basically a 5-piece kit, and you just choose whether you have a single tom and 2 floors, or 2 toms and a floor, and then you get all of the metal work, and you get hi-hat, crash, ride, and a second crash, I think, and it's like 869 quid.
Yeah,
it's mental. I mean, I have no idea how good how responsive the triggers are, but it doesn't have any less triggers than, say, a comparable Roland or Alesis kit, as far as I can tell, anyway. But we're actually starting a new drum channel on Gear News soon, so I'm going to be putting in for a few demo kits.
Yeah, do it. Well, you're a drummer, so you'd know. You'd be able to.
Well, that's
your
that's one of the
experience
reasons they did it. Yeah, so
I'm not a drummer, but I own a drum kit. I like most of my stuff. I
everyone
own
should
it,
have
but
a
I'm
drum
not.
kit.
I'm not an actual.
Everyone should have a drum kit.
Yeah, you know
Not
what?
a
It's
drummer, but you play one on TV.
Yeah.
having a drum kit's brilliant. Even if you can't play very good, I'd recommend a drum kit
Oh, it's great.
because it just to get any frustration out your head on. If you're having a crap day, headphones on, drum kit, half an hour, the world's great again.
Yeah.
You just bash 2 living tons of shit out of it. You
That's it.
feel a lot better.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just good. Well, making music's good fun.
Yeah.
Full stop. No matter what you're doing, gets you away from that watching TV and watching the news and getting depressed and pissed off. You go, no, forget that. That's just a route to disaster, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, making music's cool, or should be.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like you said with the Millennium kit and your Alesis kit, you're basically using that as a controller because your sounds are coming out your laptop or out your Mac or whatever.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know? Which is a great way in, isn't it? Because the price of an Alesis kit is tiny compared to the top brand rolling kits, but it can sound just as good or better with a good plug-in.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, I'm not disputing. Roland, clearly very well made. Every time I've played one in a music store or something, they're very well made and they're very well respected. But my God, the price!
I know.
It's just.
Tell me about it. My mate who's got I forget the time he had a TD20 kit, and I was thinking, I want to get electronic. Oh, go to Leicester because there's Music Junkie back in 2017. So they've got all the kits in there. Just go and get one of the little cheap rolling ones. You'll have great fun with that. So off to Leicester I went, go in there, and they worked this out. Got it all in a big long line. So as you come in through the front door, is like the 500 quid, whatever they call something one kit or something. So you have a go on that. That's quite good. And then next door, there's one for 650 quid. Oh, have a go on that. Have a little pat on that, and you keep going down the line. And when you get round to at the end of the shop, round the corner, there's a TD30 back there, which was their prime one.
Yeah.
And I went in there to buy the 500 quid one, and I went out with the TD30. You think, it's got that. Oh, it's got that. Oh, like the screen. And just going, how it was for me. I'm going to buy a drum kit once. Let's just get the one that I want to keep.
Yeah.
So that's what I ended up buying. It's the most expensive thing I think I've ever bought that's musical.
Yeah, not cheap.
No, they're not.
I mean, what's it, the top of the range one that's not in the full size shells? Is it TD50? The
TD50 is lots of money. Lots of money. I think it's like $5,000, I think.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
But
I think mine when I got mine was like, I can't remember, like 2.5 or 3, something like that.
Yeah.
And then when I was in there, I'll need a hi-hat stand, so won't I? So you'll throw that in, won't you? I'll need some drumsticks. I'll need a bag for the drumsticks, and I'll need a stool.
Yeah.
So I got all those chucked in free. So and drum keys as well. They've got loads of things with that. So that's the old days when we used to have music shops.
Exactly. You could go in and negotiate.
Yeah, you can't negotiate with a web app, can you? You're either buying it or you're not buying it.
I know. I mean, Thomann, you can. I think for every drum kit they do a second option that comes with, a cheap drum throne and maybe a set of headphones or something.
Yeah.
Maybe a pair of basic sticks.
Get you going sort of set, innit?
Yeah. None of your decent stuff, but yeah, it does. Yeah, it kind of gets you going.
Oh, I hear drums.
That's superior drummer. That is.
Sounds cool, right? You know that thing that Kent's got, that Yamaha FGDP 50 thing?
Oh yeah, the thing.
That also Ian's also got, and I'm still waiting for mine. Not annoying at all.
Sure.
There's a guy on the internet on YouTube who did like a heavy metal bass drum thing with it. It sounds amazing. For like 270 quid, it sounds really fucking good.
For the money you pay, it sounds great. I mean, no, it doesn't have round robins and all that stuff, but you know the sensitivity, you know, the velocity sensitivity. I mean, I played one at Synthfest and it was really, you know, great fun, and the layout of the pads is much more intuitive and comfortable.
Well, it's more intuitive, and the layout is actually curved to how your hands would naturally fall.
Exactly.
So that's actually good for you as well.
Yeah, you're not gonna. Yeah, no, it felt really nice to play it. You know, I think as Gaz was sort of showing on his thing the other day, it takes, you know, a little bit of practice to get in you know, to you know, muscle memory, to get the muscle memory built.
Yeah.
But it's pretty damn quick, and you can put your hands just out, just like that, and your fingers all fall, and
Where the pads are.
Yeah, and the location of the pads and where they are just makes sense. Because
I think Yamaha's done a bit of a gem here on their design. I think they've done a bit. I mean, I still think it's they've made a move to make it a entry level price, but I think if that idea takes off, there will be like a pro version at some point. They'll do one that's like fully featured on the back and, you know, got loads of things on it. But for 270, was it 270 quid?
Yeah, something like
pretty darn good.
Yeah,
you know, and you can load your own samples in, or you can use it like you use your Alesis kit. You can connect it up to your drum software.
Yeah,
play that.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's got poly aftertouch on it as well.
Yeah,
which it kind of has to have, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can configure each pad to its own sensitivity and aftertouch, or not aftertouch. It's pretty clever.
Because that's really useful. Because if you know your fingers have different levels of strength, you know, so to speak. So you can make, you know, if your little fingers are resting on what I guess would be the cymbal pads, I think.
Yeah.
If I recall, you can make the sensitivity of those pads a lot higher, so that, you know,
so it's less effort.
Yeah, you don't have to, you know, but you know your thumb and your forefinger and maybe your middle finger, you know, you can get a lot of leverage on those, so that everything else doesn't have to be so sensitive. But yeah, it's great, and you can set it up to your own, you know, your own personal style. It's very good. You know?
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
I mean, I was very cynical when I first saw it. I thought, what the hell?
I was, until I started looking into it, because when Yamaha dropped it, they didn't drop a video, they dropped 50 videos. 50. Counted them, 50 videos. It's like, I think they're really serious about this. They think they've made something a bit interesting. So I watched all of those, and then the first people started getting them, and you know,
I've not found anyone yet that said, "Oh, I didn't like it." Not one.
No,
I'm sure there are probably a few, but like at Synthfest they had 8 of them.
Yeah, they had a whole table, didn't they?
Yeah. And that table was always full. I mean, yeah, there was, you know, kids. A lot of time it was kids just playing around, because, you know, kids like hitting things that make noise. But they were always being, you know, used, and people were sort of having a really good old time on them. So it clearly has. They've thought about it. They've done very well. So
it's more just features people don't like the lack of USB, so lack of proper MIDI and the tiny USB connector. You know.
But it's a unit that has a purpose, and the purpose is not, you know, it as Chris had said.
I get it. I mean, my A-frame has no MIDI.
These first 2 models are probably the first in what might be a line. They're just basically, you know, here's a box that on its own you can play drums, finger drums, and it sounds really good, and you can stick it into something. That's what it's for. You know, it's like an electronic. Just, you know, just a little portable rhythm thing, you know.
Yeah.
And maybe there'll be a bigger one with, you know, maybe it'll be a bit wider, have a bit more of a detailed screen. It'll probably have full size MIDI on it.
People compare it to an HPD of some kind from Roland, which does everything.
Yeah, Hanson. Yeah, Hanson is 850 quid.
You know, it's not that. It's not an MPC.
And the A-frame doesn't do it. The Wave drum doesn't have MIDI. It's an island. You just have to learn how to play with it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the Yamaha one does have MIDI. It's USB,
Yeah.
No, I
That's
know, but I
kind
mean,
of
most
where
people.
everything's going. I mean, and
Yeah.
again, you just hook up a WIDI U host on there, and then your wirelessly MIDI you can be anywhere you like. So
Yeah.
and I'm surprised actually it didn't have that built in. You know,
Oh yeah, or Bluetooth MIDI. You mean something like that?
yeah,
Yeah.
Well, they'd probably put Bluetooth 4. That's why.
yeah. Like they're giving
They'd
us
screw
Well,
up and
again,
do it wrong.
they might not be putting it in because the Pro version might be having it in next year.
Because the
You know what I mean?
Yamaha Bluetooth dongle sucks. You have to get the WIDI one.
yeah. It's Bluetooth 4 on the Yamaha ones.
Yeah, exactly.
I think isn't the Roland one Bluetooth,
Roland is also too slow.
and it's also proprietary. You can only connect Roland to Roland, can't you?
Oh, I don't remember, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm
Crazy.
pretty sure
Most of
that
the
you
Roland
can
stuff
only
hasn't
connect-
even been class compliant for a long time. So
Yeah, you can only connect the Roland MIDI, wireless or Bluetooth MIDI things to other Roland Bluetooth. And is it the Roland one that has the AAA battery in it?
I think it does. Yeah, one of those
I
has
think
a
the
battery.
Yamaha one does as well. I can't remember. I don't think
Maybe,
I don't think
yeah.
either of those are powered over MIDI. So. I got an interesting email today from the guys who make deck set, mini deck set.
Oh yeah.
They saw Ranz's show, and the head honcho, what's his name? What's his handle? It goes under a. I've got it here somewhere. Pro Bono. That's it.
That guy, right?
Yeah, he dropped me an email and said I saw Ranz's show and everything, and he said if you want to do a side by side comparison between the mini deck set and the TX816, that'd be really cool. And I said, yeah, it would. But I'm not really, I'm not a builder. I don't sort of do that sort of thing. But he said, well, don't do anything yet. He said because we want to get the aftertouch sorted because it doesn't respond to aftertouch at the moment.
That's what I'd asked Ramsey. It didn't seem like it did. So
No, and it doesn't. But he wants to do it, or the community want to do it. So I think they're working on that. They're also working on. They want to be able to translate DX1 and DX5 performance patches as well.
Wow.
Which I said would be very good. And I hooked him up with Ben or Jordan from Musings because I supplied him with the performance SysX data for the DX1 patches, and he's done interpretations of those within OPS 7, the Plogue DX7 plugin, and they're very good. I was sat here A/Bing them a few months ago, and they are very good. But yeah, they want to, they want a video of mini deck set up against the TX816.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, we'll see. Probably sort something out next year. But that was quite fun. I mean, it's a tiny little box with a little raspberry.
I'm going to
Pi
build
in
one.
it,
Those
but
things are cool. It's a no-brainer.
just so that people can appreciate what 8DX7 engines together sounds like, especially with some decent effects on it. It's they're pretty epic.
It'd be like the doorbell for Windsor Castle, right? So
I think somebody did a Dext versus. I can't remember. I think it's Dext versus the Korg Volca versus a DX7 and how they work, and they were pretty much spot on.
The only thing with DexEd is it's not sonically, it's not quite there most of the time.
Yeah.
It's a doorbell is a doorbell.
not as good as that
doorbell.
OPL emulator.
Yeah, it's. I mean, when you go into the settings of DexEd, you can select Mark 1 engine, and you can select a newer, sort of high resolution engine, just as you can on OPS 7, the Plogue one. But the Plogue one absolutely nails. You can put the same patch into that and a regular DX7, and you will not hear a difference. It's absolutely bang on.
Yeah, that video I saw, there was the occasional patch of a DX7 that that sounded the same on the Korg, but sounded different on the Dex
The
Ed.
Dex Edge, yeah, and you get
But
the
other things did sound the same. So
yeah.
it's there's something in the code that's not quite right somewhere.
But you know, at the end of the day, it's
But it's
free,
free.
and
Can't complain it free,
it's
can
got a
you?
reasonable interface.
Yes, yeah.
You know, I mean, again, I think OPS 7 has a better interface because it's a lot clearer, and the way it's like. So, you know, on DexEd, you've got the 6 operators. You got two rows of 3,
Yeah.
and then down in the bottom left-hand corner, it tells you what algorithm you've got selected. But when you look at the screen, you're just seeing 2 rows of 3 operators. Well, one of the great things about this thing, the DX1, on those displays that are currently hidden up by the AN,
Yeah. Cool.
it shows you the actual physical configuration of the operators, so you can see which operators are flowing into, you know, which ones are carriers, which ones are modulators,
Yeah.
which one's got the feedback on it, and you see the layout and the pattern, and that can actually really help. You were talking earlier about visualizing stuff.
Did the
on a
reface
panel.
have that?
Not it. The reface has got a
Kind
tiny
of a little
screen.
bit. Yeah.
It's just got a tiny little screen. It just shows you the pattern.
Yeah.
But with Plogue's OPS 7, each operator on the screen is about this big. It's lovely. It's just lovely, nice and big and clear. But they arrange them the same way as they're displayed on on
Right.
the DX1. So it just, you could instantly see when you look at when you call a patch up, you can instantly see which are modulators, which are carriers, which ones are feeding into the other one, and then you instantly know that if I go and change the pitch or the envelope on this one, you know how it's going to go and affect the in the
Interesting.
chain
We're
of
back to
those.
where we started about the look of the interface is really
Yeah,
important.
It's very important. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just
Well,
pretty.
the
It's
OP6 color
practical.
coding is nice too, because you can tell at a glance which one is which,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
That's
helpful.
good.
That's definitely
Yeah.
helpful.
and you can make your own algorithms. That's very cool.
Yeah, and you can do that with the Essence FM, and that is, I mean, that's the pinnacle
right.
for me, because you've got a touch screen, and you can just use your finger and move operators around, and say, right, I want that one to.
Does Essence
succeed
do
as well.
8 or only 6?
No, it's only 6. Yeah,
Only 6. Okay.
yeah, but it's limitless. It's not, you're not constrained to 32 algorithms like you with the Yamaha formulation.
Yeah.
Are you going to get a review unit of the montage to play on?
I hope so, but I've heard rumours that they're not even doing artist deals. It's just like basically, you buy it or you don't. So, but no, I the guys at Yamaha UK who helped me, they loaned me that Modi X for 6 months. I did sort of casually say to them, I said, when you have a decent shipment in, if you have one that's going spare or going to do the rounds, put me on the list. But I've not heard anything, and I've heard at least one genuine artist say that they asked for, what do they call it? There's a term that they use in the industry, is artist something.
Pay for
or other.
play.
No, it's not endorsement. It's just like if you're an artist,
You get a discount.
they'll give you a discount. Generally, it's a little bit above wholesale. But I've heard from an artist who has had that in the past from them that they're not doing that. So
They must think they're on a proper winner then.
I think so.
They probably are on a proper winner,
Well, I mean, the amount of people
Yamaha get a load of flack for where's your synthesizers and all the rest of it, but they do make a lot of money.
I mean, I know it's kind of like a
Well,
self-fulfilling.
the original montage is
prophecy.
no slouch. I mean, they had some cool
No.
shit in it. So
Oh,
Yeah.
But I'm a member of a few Yamaha montage and Modi X groups on Facebook and what have you. And literally, the next day after they announced it, there were people saying my montage M's arrived, and I would say the vast majority are M8Xs. They're not the 6s or the 7s that everyone seems to be getting. Because if you look at the pricing, it's
Yeah.
it's only £500 more to get the M8X than it is the M7.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
for 500 quid, you're getting a fucking amazing keyboard.
It's huge as well, isn't it? Apparently, it's really
it is,
deep.
It is big, but the feel of those keys is just amazing.
So it's the Hydrosynth Deluxe keybed,
No,
or they're using? No, they're using.
it's a proprietary
It's
Yamaha
All right.
GEX.
Okay, right.
Yeah, it's their own. It's electromagnetic, I'm told,
Oh,
inside.
interesting.
Kent will tell us when his turns up. He'll have it for a week and destroy it.
It'll be open. But yeah. I tell you what it feels like. It feels like this.
Take it apart. Yeah.
Yeah.
It really.
Well, he's taken his Hydrosynth to bits. He's taken that Osmos to bits. No, he's the destroyer of worlds. Is he in the chat?
That's
Have a look.
But I tell you what, though.
But he's one of the few that can fix it.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
True.
But I tell you
Sorry.
what, the feel of the M8X keyboard reminded me very much of this, which is pretty much the same as the CS80, which is pretty much the same as the GS1. And, because the keys on this thing are like that. They're proper wooden
Proper.
keys, and it's light enough for a synthesizer, but has enough balance, sort of to it to feel like you're playing something a bit, heftier. And the M8X is exactly that. I was saying to Kent, because I went into Yamaha last Friday, and in Soho, and I sat down with it, and I was there for a good half an hour or so, just sort of playing through, and then once I kind of got to the point where I needed to tear myself away, otherwise I was going to make a very stupid and financially crippling decision. I was on the phone to Kent, and I said, "Mate, you're going to love it when you get it." And I was explaining how the keyboard felt, and I said, it's one of those keyboards, you go up to it and you start playing it and you feel like it just feels right. And aftertouch, not whether it's poly or channel, on a weighted keyboard can be a very hit or miss affair, because sometimes it can be just that little bit too sensitive, and so you're invoking the aftertouch all the time. Other times you really have to dig in. And what I said to Kent was, it's almost like it can read your mind. Because when you just want to play like a synth, pad or something, and you don't want to bring in the aftertouch, you're just playing, or maybe it's a piano or something, you can just play it and it feels right. And it's almost like it instinctively knows that you want to apply the aftertouch, and you only have to give it just a little bit of extra pressure, and it's there, and it's doing its thing. And they've got some great piano patches, that CFX Grand, and there's a felt piano and a couple of others in there that you can just play as acoustic pianos. But the minute you just put a little pressure on, it brings something else in, or it opens up, something, a filter or something, and it just, it's magical. It really, you have to play it to experience it.
So it won't false trigger. It's good about that.
It's across the whole thing. You can go like, you can give it a bit of like this, and it's not invoking. There's no false triggering of the aftertouch. The way it's balanced is that you just have to put that little bit of it, and it says, you want to play? Here it is. And
because I think that's why the TS12 didn't have aftertouch, because the TS10 had really good poly AT. 12 was a weighted action keyboard, and they said this isn't going to fucking work. It's going to be triggered aftertouch everywhere.
Prophet T8 was a bit the same as well. It was a lovely kind of weighted keyboard, but and Yamaha always seemed to get that balance right. The same. It's the same with this. And
They make pianos, real pianos.
Well,
So they're not stupid, are they?
The DX1s are actually built in the Yamaha piano factory.
Probably why they're so good.
So
That's simple, isn't it?
No, I'm very excited. I really would love one, but I've just started the business up, so I'm looking at sort of expanding a few things, and I thought, oh yeah, I can put the montage through the business, but actually I need a decent computer first, so I need to buy a new Mac.
Well, they've just got new chips out, haven't they? So yeah.
Yeah, but I won't bother with those. I was looking at a reconditioned Mac Studio,
they're probably bargain bin now, or pricing they'll be now, aren't they? Or should be.
£1,600 for a Mac Studio M1 Max, which is 10 core,
Yeah.
32 gig of RAM, a terabyte SSD, and 32 core GPU. £1,600
Probably last you a
Wow.
decade.
at least.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
at least. So that's what I think I'm going to do.
But I have a MacBook Air from 2010. It's still kicking. So
Well, this Mac that I'm on now
Yeah.
is a. I always have to look this up. I forget. It's a late 2013 3.4 i5 with 32 gig of RAM, and its own. I mean, performance-wise, all I've had to do is I swapped out the hard drive for an SSD. I had that
Yeah.
done by a guy down there. And that's the only thing I've done to this. And performance-wise, yeah, all right. So if you stack it with a whole bunch of quite, hefty plugins, it will start to creak a little bit. But performance-wise, it's been absolutely brilliant. And the only thing I'm finding now, and I'm finding it a little more often every sort of month or so, is that an update for a piece of software like Native Access, which I hate Native Instruments anyway, but I thought I went to update that, and it said download the Mac version, so you get an Intel option and you get an M1 option. So I downloaded the Intel one and installed it, or went to install it, and it said, "Oh, you need Big Sur or above." Of course, this will only go as far as Catalina, this model. So I'm starting to. I mean, I can still use Native Access. It's just I'm using now the unsupported version.
Yeah.
Just now
Now's
finding
about the time to move on to your next computer,
Exactly.
isn't it?
Yeah. So when you think about it, this is what 2013. So
10 years.
10 years old.
Done well.
Bad. I mean, I don't think I've ever had a computer that I've pretty much left untouched for 10 years, and it's still
working.
doing. Yeah, it still does. I use this every day, and I even remote into. I've got down here. I've got a Xeon, dual Xeon desktop or tower unit, which is my work computer, my day job. I don't even use that. I remote into that from here,
Right.
and so I can run the Windows in Microsoft Remote or whatever it is on one window, and I just swipe left and I'm back in my Mac world, and swipe right and back in my Windows world. Just does
Amazing,
it all.
isn't it?
Yeah, so cool. So now I think I'm looking at a
Mac Studio. Yeah.
A Recon one. That sounds
Yeah.
about
Sounds about right.
because I've got a MacBook Pro, got an M1 MacBook Pro, which when I first started using that, I thought, I might as well just get rid of the iMac and use the MacBook. But I didn't like the fact that it would have to be my home computer as well as the computer I use outside. I didn't want to sort of do that whole kind of disconnect, reconnect thing.
Yeah.
So
is that the same Mac Studio Kent has?
no, I think Kent's. Oh, he's in the chat, isn't he?
He is.
Kent went
was.
like full tilt.
He was. Yeah, I didn't see him for a bit.
I know Ben. I think he went sort of like for a fairly basic model. But I think, Kent doesn't do things by halves.
No. He usually buys 2 of everything and forgets.
Yeah, backup.
Have I got that? Yeah, I bought that.
Or bought that again.
Yeah.
Including plug-in packs that he never gets around to install. He gets the update and then goes, "You've already got it." Oh,
That's it.
okay.
Well,
Nice
no, I
to
did
meet
that.
Got somebody here. Who else is here?
Oh,
Hello.
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 I don't recognise him.
Yes, you do.
What is that?
Who's the cat?
picture of?
That's Mars Attacks, isn't it?
Yeah. I was at the Halloween store.
Ah, there you go. You look better.
Yeah.
I did.
Well,
I feel-
for it.
I feel healthier. I feel like those Snickers bars didn't affect me after all. My kids have so much candy. Oh my god.
Just don't play Slim Whitman. Your head will explode. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I'm calling you.
I'm here to broker a deal.
All right.
Oh dear. There you go.
Have you seen the movie? That movie is so brilliant.
Yeah.
It's so good. I think about it all the time.
It's great.
Yeah. And they're like brokering a deal. They're like, yeah, we got it. Then they just start killing people. They,
Superb.
little,
Oh.
so I found out mixing tonight.
Sorry?
Mono mixing. I've never mixed in mono before.
No?
I know, it's kind of embarrassing, but because I usually do it with the hardware, there's no simple way to do it. It's not like you could just
Clarify. Are you mixing in mono or are you listening in mono?
okay, listening in mono.
Right.
Listening back. Mixing back in
I
mono.
needed to check.
Yeah. Well, basically pressing a button that says mono. And
Oh.
trusting that the button is
I do it the old school way. I've got one of those battery powered single monitor
like a
I
little
just
mix
plug that
cube.
into my MPC and go, does it sound shit now? But now it's all coming out of one speaker, or does it sound okay?
Yeah.
So it's worth doing, definitely worth doing.
Yeah, well, I was having some phase issues on a couple things I got mastered. Well, I've had a few times,
Right.
and so I guess that helps. But it was pretty wild. The first song I was listening back to, I was like, yeah, it was pretty close, but it was definitely some, peaks where I was like, yeah, I should bring that down and just see how it sounds. And the second song started, I hadn't listened to it in a while, and then I hit the stereo, and I'm like, pressed it off again, and I was like, that sound is gone. It's like it was totally vanished in the
It literally
mono mix.
disappeared. A bit like when you do like a vocal cancel, it just like disappears.
It disappeared completely. So then I tried to adjust the left right to see if I could. I sort of brought it back, but the minute I brought in the second channel, regardless, the volume just dropped. So I just deleted one of the channels and put up the mono, and that solved it. I think it solved it, and we'll see. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Now when
it's a thing that disappeared. Is that a recorded audio track that was stereo then?
I think it was I stereoed some stuff off the looper, and somehow, however it's recording it or whatever I did, it hold on a second, people.
Okay.
Yeah, so they so anyways, yeah, when I played it back, whatever it's doing, it was screwing it all up the phase of it. So yeah, it was pretty cool. I've wanted to do it for a while. So I had this little I guess it's called a little like Mojo box where you can hit the left, right, and everything. And
hey, who are you talking to?
I'm on the show, babe. Jesus, like, hunting me down. Who are you talking to? Oh my God,
Who is it? Come on, tell me now.
I can't. Fun moments, but
I have friends, they're on the internet. Shut up.
yeah, not my only friends, just my friends,
Oh dear.
Oh, here's Cleo now. Jeez, Michael. See, it all breaks down. See, this is why I
You're
don't get on
being
the show.
chased by your family members, your pets, everybody.
Well, I was thinking about it. I was like, there's 11 of us in this house.
Wow.
With the animals, and I was like, 11. I was like, think about that a second.
Yeah.
11.
Exactly.
Yeah. So.
And Cleo says, we'd be down to 10 of you pissed off.
Don't mess with my scratch post. That was I love that response, Rob. That was so perfect. It was just like, get off of Cleo's scratch post immediately. That just looks kind of cool. Oh, man. It's funny how you see things differently. I was like, I was like, oh, wow, that's make a nice modular rack, wouldn't it? Oh.
So what you said you're recording? What you recording down to then? You're in like a multi-track or something?
Yeah, I always use usually I use the Zooms. I have the R8, and then I have the live track. So I use both of those.
Oh, of course you do. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you all were talking about different softwares. And I used to use Pro Tools for a while, and then I don't know. I just got burnt out with DAWs, and I just I didn't want to turn it on, and I thought there was something wrong with me. It's kind of like the sample track, and then I was like, well, sorry, Rob, but then
Jack has left the building.
I tried a different. I tried to do things differently, you know, and I was like, well, let me just see if I can do this differently, and then I started recording all the time, you know, but now I want to go back to a DAW because I'm kind of missing a lot of the editing.
You want them 1,300 choices back, don't you? That's what you want.
No, I don't want that.
That's what you'll get when you go back. It's like, oh, what plugin should I use? Oh, look, I'll just list them out. Oh, it's about 15 feet high, this list.
Well, yeah, it is pretty overwhelming, and you start just messing with things like. So I found this one stereo width plug-in when I was in Basis, and I don't know what I was doing, but the mastering guy got it. It's like, man, are you messing with? What are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. I found this cool stereo width. It sounds really awesome in my headphones, but it was not translating at all to the master. But
I use stereo width on the current remix I'm on, but maybe I should switch that off again then.
Well, it's all like there was different options. I really just didn't know what I was. You know, I was just playing with them.
That's what I'm doing.
Well, you know, it was
Turn it
funny.
on.
Well, here's the funny part. So my right ear was blocked, completely blocked, and I went into the doctor, and they cleaned it out and everything. Then I came back and I listened to the mix, and the master engineer was like, the drums are so loud. And I came back and I was like, well, let me listen to it. Like a day later, I was like, holy cow. Yeah. I was like, oh. So anyway, that's my story.
Who's joined us?
Who's joined us? It's got a cool picture too.
It's like Kent's avatar. That's Kent's avatar usually.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, we're getting some good
usually,
pictures. I like
little
this.
mouse.
Morning.
Hello.
Good
Max.
evening. Or morning where you are, yeah.
Yeah. I've just been out in the back garden killing a memory mold crest.
Cool.
Killing a man.
Is that the one you're going to bring on the show tomorrow or today?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh mate. Oh dear. Well, I'll tell you what, Chris has got a very low opinion of me.
I've got a low opinion of everybody. I'm not singling you out. You're
Well,
fine.
that's true enough. No, okay, that's cool. Yeah. No, it wouldn't hurt so much if it wasn't true. Oh man.
All I've seen from you recently on Facebook is basically whatever your latest synth is or was, it's now in bits.
Yeah.
It's like,
I've had several things break in a row. It's bloody ridiculous.
Has Fiona got like a little doll with pins in downstairs with what she doing?
It's called Kent. she just cuts out the middleman, 6 pins in Kent.
Yeah. Feels like we can done my hair. Oh, bloody hell.
It's all right. Buy a hat.
Yeah, that'd be a big hat. I look like a fucking pineapple now.
Popular pineapples.
Kent, you have to make a voodoo doll of her.
Where am I going to find that much plasticine?
If she's not watching, you'll be in big trouble.
Don't kill me, darling. Don't kill me.
Be like the Eddie Murphy routine. You hear the shoe flying in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How we all doing? We all good?
All right. Yeah. Doing good.
Sure.
Good.
I was about to head up to bed.
How are you doing? Because you've been poorly, haven't you, recently?
Yeah. I was a bit off colour today, to be honest. So, don't know what colour I was, but it was whatever it was. It was off.
Steady.
Yeah. I had migraine all day as well.
Oh, God.
But it's the one where, half your vision goes black.
Oh, that's not fun, is it?
Ooh, I just get the zigzags. I don't get the black.
No, I've had the zigzags, but lately I've been getting these sort of like just either the whole bottom half of your eyesight goes or it's the whole top half.
You getting like tunnel vision?
It's like that, but but not, if you know what I mean. It's like someone's just put a black card over the part of your eyes.
That's weird. Shit.
Yeah, he's a weirdie. So
You've seen a doctor.
If anybody else, you would go in for a detached retina, but it sounds like something else.
yeah. Well, no, I spoke to the doctor about it. He goes, "Oh, I wouldn't know about that." Okay, I won't.
Because if you do see that and you don't have those symptoms normally, you got to run your ass to the fucking hospital because you will lose your vision. The retina will die.
Yeah, this is it. This is why I've got to be really careful about it. I still think he reckons it's some form of very, very intense ocular migraine.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah. So
I mean, the zigzag one, you do lose your vision too, kind of, right? Because you can't focus on anything. It's really annoying.
I mean,
and then you watch it kind of drift. If you close your eyes, you watch it drift across your field of vision. You know,
yeah,
it's basically in your brain. It's not in your eyes.
Yeah,
It's just going across.
They start really small and they get bigger and bigger and expand and then disappear off. And the only weird
it's like
bit
the most
is
annoying screensaver.
Out of your vision, out of your field of vision, but you can still see it. Even though you can't see it, you just know it's.
It'll go off to the side and like on your peripheral, down here, and
Yeah.
just hover for a while, and then just go away.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
So I've been getting them since I was a teenager. So
Sounds crazy. I've
very-
never had migraines, so
yeah.
I only had those when I started drinking heavy amounts of coffee at one of my jobs many years ago, and then ever since I get them once in a while.
Yeah.
don't drink coffee then.
I love coffee.
Kent. Don't drink coffee, Kent.
That doesn't
Drinks more than I do.
Doesn't leave me with anything else then.
Yeah.
10 cups a day?
No, I'm well down now. Well
9 now. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 8.5, yeah.
No, I'm on about average 4 now.
Right.
Yeah, I do 3. I probably do 3.
Yeah.
I like it.
This is my thing. If
When
I
I was
can't get good coffee, I just take these no-dos,
Oh,
100 milligrams,
ooh.
and 1 or 2 of those a day, and I'm good. I don't even need coffee.
Jesus.
Just like coffee, 200
Apparently,
milligrams.
I was
And you don't have the acid, you don't have the sugar, you don't have the fat, and you still get the goodies.
yeah. No, there was a mistake apparently in my in the prescription they gave me, and I was essentially ODing on D3.
Oh shit.
Remember I told you were taking really high amounts.
Yeah, because I was taking
When
9
you
tablets
told
a
me
day.
how much you were taking, I was like, holy shit. 'Cause my
9?
doctor said, you're way beyond euphoria rate at that point.
Yeah,
Because 10,000 IU is a shitload, especially if you do go out in the sun like you do in the back a lot. You go
Yeah.
outside.
yeah. I think it was Fiona that explained to me about the difference between AG. Was it UG and IU?
Yeah.
You went on B3 then. You was on like B18, weren't you? By the sound of it.
Well, I'm on B12 and I'm on D3. What was the other thing they put me on now? Well, apart from castor oil and God knows what else.
You're basically on the alphabet, by the sound of it.
Yeah, I am. I'm just going through the periodic table.
You know.
Yeah.
Shit.
Take osmium in the mornings now. I've been harassed.
So when you walk, you rattle. Then I take it. The amount of pills you're having.
Yeah. So, but no, I'm taking porridge in the morning for breakfast. That's made a massive difference.
A good difference.
Porridge would do that, but there you go.
You could switch to rice porridge they call congee.
Mm.
Just don't put the rotten fish in there like some people do.
Oh, God. Siri, what do you want?
My girlfriend's Chinese and she loves that dried shrimp stuff. And it's literally, it smells like death. I
Oh.
said, did you just bring a dead body into the place? Because it literally smells like the cadavers I used to work on in physiology lab.
Sounds like
Yes, some of those
Vile.
fish oils. Ooh,
It's vile. And I know some cheese smells bad too, but I don't eat the cheese that smells like
nah,
that.
some
I
of
eat
those
normal.
fish oils are really nasty.
It's literally decomposition. It's not a nice thing at all. It's disgusting.
It's got to be a
It's,
better way to be healthy.
Yeah.
it's like
Be 1 second.
it's like triethylamine and ammonium and some other nasty. If you look them up, there's some nasty ingredients that are from decomposition.
Yeah.
Bad stuff.
Yeah, there's that rotten Danish fish, isn't there? The canned fish.
Oh, surströmming or something like that.
yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Oh, it's vile. Yeah.
Evil.
There was a bloke on a YouTube channel of his, and he was going to try it because he's trying out all these different foods, and he just started to open the tin and just immediately threw up everywhere.
Yep, it's pretty bad.
It's that bad.
Yeah.
Oh, but he did have a piece,
Idiot.
and then threw up again, almost immediately.
Yeah. Yeah, you think, wouldn't you?
It's like if you ever watch Survivor when they have to eat like those different like nasty like I don't know, you know, these different fishes and spiders and
Oh God!
some
Yeah.
of it is so nasty. It's just
The
like
night market in Beijing is one of the scariest things you'll ever see. It's like scorpions on sticks
Yeah.
and spiders and cocoons and all kinds of stuff. It's just,
yeah, and people have a
They
problem.
care how many legs it's got, do they? They just want to eat it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We have our equivalent here, which is me with broccoli.
oh.
Broccoli.
Broccoli.
Hate
Hey.
broccoli.
Well, kale is a little less offensive, and it's the same plant botanically, so just eat kale.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I like kale.
Broccoli, kale, kohlrabi, they're all the same damn plant.
Pizza's okay.
Weird
I can have
versions.
Pizza.
Pizza, French fries, yeah, tater tots.
Yeah. McDonald's without the spray coloured mice if possible. But yeah.
Ah,
So, David, did you get your new thing that you're after?
oh, the pedal?
Yeah.
No, it hasn't come yet. Should be here.
Okay.
I do. Well, you're probably guilty of this too. I do like to. Once I get one thing, I start wanting to get the whole series. So once I got the looper, I was like, well, now I need to get the matching one, you know. And then I just kind of go down the line.
Yeah.
Well, there's less of a learning curve. It's like buying the same model car, you know. It's like okay.
Yeah, it's like similar menu system probably, isn't it? So
Yeah, it's like a Hondas. Like we have two Hondas, and I'm like, okay. I used to have VWs, and they were all pretty much the same, which I like. So yeah, it's just the modulation pedal, but yeah, those are. I mean, you can find them so cheap. People just, you know, they're not cool. They're not Strymon or you know, Eventide. So everybody just kind of goes,
but they're affordable and they're not crap.
yeah. And even new, they're relatively. It's interesting how sometimes Roland's really expensive, but some of their pedal stuff is their best value. They put up, they have a lot of good. The digital stuff's really good across the board.
Yeah. Yeah, they do good
I'm a
stuff.
converted Boss Roland person again. I used to be. Now I'm back. So if it doesn't have a slicer, I don't want it. You know.
Well, yeah.
Have to give up Moog. It was too expensive.
So is the Eurorack staying or is it going?
It's staying, but I'm nibbling it down for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you the person who's got a Eurorack with extra modules so you can get rid of the modules you're not sort of using? So is that what you're going to do? Just have a Eurorack with the modules you actually need and use?
That sounds.
Never heard of such a thing.
Yeah.
Am I speaking this weird
Felt like a
language?
trick
from there?
question.
You are.
Yeah, I am.
You're
Yeah.
crazy, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a nutcase. Yeah, yeah.
Even Kent's going to start adding modules, right?
Yeah, Kent, what's going on with your system? What's the latest?
I think it's what did I
Abundance.
Put? I put in a brains, and something else I forgot.
But you filled out
Did you
that
get 'em
bottom
maths?
row pretty much.
Almost. I still have about half of it still unpopulated.
To be fair, Kent needs to buy about 300 or 400 more modules to match the amount of leads he's bought.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he
Yeah.
forward thinking.
Become
Dude,
Elon
thinking, yeah.
Musk of the cable world.
They
Yeah.
don't. Nobody tells you this in modular, but there's actually some like covers you can buy. You don't have to fill it. The whole
Yeah.
thing.
Lucky
Yeah,
panels,
It's a
yeah.
dirty secret. There's panels you can buy.
I never bought any panels. I just buy modules.
People just like, you have these gaps in it. It's like, well, okay, yeah.
You can get bits of
But my
cardboard
Pro
to fill it. You
3
don't have to
like-
buy the panels. You can just do the gaffer tape. It'd be fine.
Yeah.
It's like Tetris. You have to fill it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
because my Pro 3 died.
There's a surprise.
Because I was going to use the CPU.
It died? What happened to the Pro 3?
Everything dies when Kent's near it at the minute.
No, I turned it on one morning and it just went, no. I went, oh, okay. Blank screen.
That's messed up.
Yeah. So I thought it might be able to reload the bootloader onto it and see if it comes back to life. And it kept coming up with buffer overrun, which means it couldn't find the Pro one, the Pro 3. So I took the back off it and felt the processor and burnt my thumb.
Oh,
Shit.
So I'm now having email conversations with Sequential about buying a replacement mainboard of them.
Yeah, it's got like 3. That's good. Yeah. I feel like that. When I had mine, I replaced one of those boards. I didn't have it for too long though.
knowing sequential must be easy to replace like the poly evolver stuff was.
Yeah, they just give you a new board, right? That's the whole.
I mean,
But they
just
did-
do it yourself. It's just you hinge it, you just go
Yeah.
boop, 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 pop it out, put it in, put the caps back on, and you're good to go. You know,
Yeah, but that's exactly what I had
great
to do.
design. Their design is awesome.
But when I
Yeah.
was filling out the support ticket, it said that the date of purchase, where you bought it from, and the serial number were optional. So I went, oh, okay, I can't be bothered to go upstairs and dig all that out. And then sent the ticket off, and they sent me an email back saying, we need the serial number, date of purchase, and where you bought it from.
That's awesome.
The option is, if you want us to reply to your support ticket,
Yeah.
you need to
Yeah.
fill it in.
If
Yeah,
I said that would have helped.
a little bit.
Yeah. So,
It's pretty amazing when you. Yeah, but they are helpful. They were helpful. I remember.
yeah.
They give you nothing for free. They'll probably charge you. But
You know, Ty said they were incredibly helpful. I said, yeah, but you're Ty.
Yeah.
Well, he just calls and swears at him. So
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if it works.
yeah,
He did. When I spoke to him on the phone today, he phoned me up and I said, oh yeah, I said I filled out the description of the fault. He goes, did you go into great detail in a techie way? I said, no, I just said you can fry eggs on the processor after this, so I think the board's knackered. Because you didn't write that. I said, yeah, that's what I put in.
Well, it is knackered. Otherwise, you wouldn't be phoning up, would you?
Exactly. So why beat about the bush? Saying, it's getting all the correct voltages from the switch mode power supply. And blah, 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 blah. But it doesn't appear to be any data coming out of the CPU.
it's a bit warm.
It's basically, it's fuck, mate. Can I have a new board, please?
Yeah.
please, please let me know where I can send it.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And
That's
Dave's a pretty straightforward guy. So if you're actually talking to Dave, he would laugh at that. So
That's a bumper, though. That's a new. It's a really new synth. Had that problem.
Good. Who was it was telling me? It was another tech was telling me about the code in the EPROMs of the Prophet 5 Rev 1 and 2. Like every other line of code, there's a chant.
well, if you look at the motherboards, they have like Hindu kind of designs. on
Yeah,
them and stuff.
exactly.
Yeah,
There's
just like Mutable does. Mutable has the
Yeah.
same kind of designs. On their
it
stuff.
comes up with some sort of Buddhist chant or something every other
Mantras.
line in
There's
code.
mantras in there. Yeah.
Because the T8 has a big area on one of the voice boards that says Phaser Bank. There's a nod to Star Trek.
Yeah, Scotty. Yeah.
Oh, really? That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, because remember,
You,
Like
you,
Phaser
you
Bank
think
like
they'd
that,
put
that's fun.
something on the board that says, close it back down again. You shouldn't be inside here looking.
Yeah,
'cause
don't
it's
touch
funny
the
'cause
hot
I'm looking at this
CPU.
board
so
going,
that-
hang on a minute, a T8 doesn't have a phaser.
We
What's
see
this?
you.
Yeah.
You're being watched.
Mm.
Or you open it up and it just says, your warranty is now void. 'Cause you-
Yeah.
A lot of those guys put the tamper-proof screws in there,
Welcome.
right? So they know you opened it.
yeah,
Mm.
true.
Yeah, mind you, if you have the right tools, it doesn't matter. They still don't look tampered with.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I figured there's a way around that. So
Yeah, and a little bit
my
of black.
my favorite was the old days of VHS tapes when I worked at the video store in the '80s, and because the classic trick was you rent a tape, you take a blank tape, you swap the reels, and you stole the movie, right? And because they're just regular Phillips screws. So that we had these catalogs we used to get at the store, and it had like I don't know, 20 different weird shaped heads you could buy, and replace all of your screws with these weird heads that you had to buy a special tool. It's hilarious. But someone's going to figure a way around it. Or just buy the damn tool. It's not that hard to buy it.
Yeah. I had that on the Osmos, where you got weird security screws, but you've also got screws hiding under the rubber feet.
Oh man.
Yeah, he said,
Well-
yeah. And some of the
Yeah.
screws didn't actually do anything. They're just there for.
I used to take things apart and go, oh, it's under the sticker. I looked everywhere else, but the damn sticker
Yeah.
you had to peel back, and there's screws under there too. So
Yeah.
Right,
No, I
I'm
got
off to
very
bed,
excited
guys.
this morning because there was an email from Andertons. Yay! An email from Andertons.
Is that the montage?
He goes, oh, and it was asking me if I'd be interested in buying a Behringer System 55. Okay.
Have you ordered two then?
Yeah, no, not this
He's got to
one.
use
not?
those cables somehow, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Got it in stereo now, haven't you?
I've got the world's longest dog lead.
you have entire walls to fill, Kent. You got to keep going.
Oh, God.
Right, I'll
Well,
see you guys tomorrow.
See you,
I'm off
Robbie.
to bed.
All right,
All
catch
right,
you.
Rob. Good
Take
night.
it easy.
Take
Bye-bye.
it easy.
I see you all.
You got to be like Andrew Huang. He's got that giant wall
Yeah.
that curves down into that giant desk. I mean, that's probably that system. Not even counting the custom desk module thingy. It's probably like $150,000.
Man, it's maddening.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta question someone's sanity.
He's got custom white face panels everywhere.
Very
Holy
expensive
shit.
wallpaper,
It's just-
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
But he does know how to use it. I'm not a great fan of his output musically, but he does know how to use that shit.
yeah, I've never really.
one up on me then.
Yeah, I've never paid attention to him. I'm sure he's fine. I don't.
The
care.
fun thing he did was that space thing. Did you see that? He actually used like chroma key and a bunch of like effects and made a space journey video. That was kind of clever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He has his moments.
I'm sure he does. They all do. I mean, like Heinbeck. There's some better ones that are just more interesting to me.
Oh yeah, but the thing I like about Wong is he'll cover some weird shit. Like he has the weird gear segments,
Yeah,
and that's fun because a lot of guys don't cover the weird gear that much.
yeah. I guess.
Heimbach covers really weird gear, like stuff that nobody ever has, ever, because it's like test equipment and other weird stuff, you know.
Yeah, he's just not even on my algorithm. It's really weird. Like he doesn't not even show up.
Yeah, I love his. He's been working with guys on these apps. He's made some pretty cool apps for iOS, like Fundamental and stuff. Those are pretty fun.
Yeah, yeah. He has done some cool stuff.
No, I was pretty bummed out about the Pro 3 packing up because that would allow me to do 4-note poly on the modulars.
Yeah, that's why I got mine. I remember because it had
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
So it's
Packed
four
up.
four
No, it's gonna-
oscillator, and you can sequence it like the evolver kind of.
type of thing. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing about the evolver. You do the same thing, like 4 Berlin School things interwoven at the same time.
Yeah.
It's pretty clever.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really deep synth. I remember it. It's another one that's just kind of big, and it just kind of the way I set things up. I can't really when they're big. When the synth gets too big like that, it just kind of takes over the table. It's just like, jeez. It's like the Moog grandmother. It's like, oh my god, that thing's massive.
Yeah.
But it integrates really well with the modular too. It's a lot of fun. The
Well,
patching.
this EX5 is fucking massive. Yamaha
Right.
EX5 is huge.
I just can't have that much gear around me. It makes me kind of, I don't like to play like that.
You like small gear then, basically.
Yeah, I like things kind of on the table.
You want a
Yeah.
Bastel
Apart from
castle
sample
and a castle drum and all that kind of stuff. Those little
Okay, okay.
pocket operators.
That all of that sounds wonderful. Yeah, send it all to me. I do
Hey,
like
Dave,
that little tangerine.
Did you say you had
thing.
this one, Dave? Do you have this radiophonic one?
No, but
Oh.
there's been one on Reverb for like $12.50 forever.
This
Yeah,
was
no.
brand new for like $600.
What?
It was a closeout at Noisebug. I was like,
Oh,
I don't really have the money right now, but I'm getting it anyway
you should. There,
because it's normally
honestly,
like $1,800.
there, and more than that, I would say there's some. The guy's pretty brilliant. And I remember researching a few of those modules are really cool. He did some really cool little things with them. I can't remember right offhand, but I remember studying them and thinking, "Oh man, that would be really cool to have." No, I would buy that too if I saw it. Honestly,
Totally, yeah,
I'd
it was
buy
like
it.
650, something like
I
that.
mean,
Yeah,
at
it was
that
really cheap.
price, yeah,
It was a
that's really
no-brainer. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. You got to get it. It's really cool. He's a really cool that SDG. He's really
He's
yeah.
very friendly. I taught him a
Yeah, I've
lot
kind of
at the
grown.
shows.
I like his stuff. He's one of those people I really want to support.
Yeah.
I got his boat thing, and I've been watching that vanilla modular thing he's building, and honestly, if I got rid of the Eurorack, I wouldn't mind just having that system, just something really cool like that.
I gotta say
You
though,
know?
out of the box, this thing is kind of an enigma. I'm still having to figure out some shit on it because it's really different. He has a different
Yes,
way of making modules.
and it's got some digital capability in there.
It's very clever, but I'm
It's
like,
real
holy
clever.
shit.
Have you watched some of the Doty stuff yet?
I watched the Doty stuff. I watched there's a Perfect Circuit demo, which is really good. Some other ones that are pretty good as well. So even Alex Ball did one
Yeah.
as that character. He has a second character. It's not Gerd von Schlanger. It's that other dude with the mustache.
Yeah, and the thing about that is he'll never make that again. That's done.
Yes.
It's over. He's not making. That's true boutique kind of. I did it. People stopped buying it. I moved on.
Yeah. In fact, a similar site had the oscillator in here for like
See, that's the danger.
$100, and that was a steal.
The problem is that's the danger with modular. There's all these really cool like kind of little things that just kind of crop up, and they may come back. They may never make them again. You can get really lost in it because it is really fascinating. There's some really cool.
If they don't make it again, Behringer will.
Yeah. No, Behringer won't touch half of that.
This
Why
is
not?
too complicated for Behringer. They won't do it.
Oh, okay.
This
But
envelope
they-
generator alone, if you look at his envelope generator, it's fucking nuts. It even has a trapezoid.
We didn't
It's
say.
supposed to be based on the VCS3 style.
Yeah.
So
Isn't
he even
Behringer
has all
doing
these
a
weird
VCS,
things.
right?
We didn't say useful, Chris.
Oh,
We just said.
right.
It had it.
Yeah, let me. Yeah. It's just no, but some of this, you can get caught up in it. But every once in a while, you find something that's super cool. Like I think I've mentioned, I've got that the Drone Commander, one of the original ones that Eric Archer made, and
I think I've seen that one. What is it?
he
Is
went.
it a standalone or is it a module?
Yeah, it's like ammo. It's that ammo can thing. I'm sure you've seen them over the years.
Ah.
It was real big, for a while, and I mean, it's still one of the most amazing things I've got. It's just it is so gnarly, and it's just like, So every once in a while, you stumble upon something super cool, and you get lucky, and you buy it, and then then you're kind of glad you did. Most of the time, you just waste your money. Just-
It's Euro.
Well, of
right?
course. But you have fun doing it. So
It is fun. Yeah, but I'm trying to stay away from modular for a while. It's a little bit too much. I mean, I have plenty. Don't feel bad for me. I definitely have enough.
Wow. Kent, can I use your brain for a sec?
Well, I don't need it.
Okay.
I was waiting for that.
So, I've returned a Akai EWI Solo, it's a wind synth, and it's
Yeah.
I'm just wondering what's going on with it. I mean, I've got my money back and everything, so I'm looking for
Yeah.
another one. But what it was doing, it's got a rechargeable battery inside it, which is connected via a block connector. So there's a wire coming out the battery, goes into a block. The block goes into must be the circuit board.
Right.
How it works is it's got a USB connection, but that is for charging the battery. If the battery doesn't work properly, you can't turn it on. Or well, you can try turning it on, but it just
Yeah.
locks up. So my workaround why I had him while it was like doing this daft thing was if you take the compartment out and you pull the block out
Yeah.
of the connector for the battery, and if you wait like 10 minutes, when you put it back in, it boots up properly, and then you can power it down properly. But if you come back the next day, you're back to where you were, where the power light would go on, the screen would display, but it'd be all locked up. You'd have to take the battery out again, and then wait 10 minutes, and then put it back in again. Then it works. What do you think's going on with that? Does that make sense?
When you get weird problems like that, it has to be some sort of intermittent connection between cells within that battery.
Right. So that's you think that's a battery issue rather than the
Yeah.
Right.
When you get weird shit like that, yeah.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, I've got an white-faced ARP Odyssey here behind my head that has the weirdest problem I've ever come across on a synth. It's just absolutely insane. So on an Odyssey, you have the two VCOs, and the other source is noise. When you pass noise through the envelope generator works as set up. So you can have a bit, set a bit of release, bit of attack, and everything like that.
Right.
When you pass the VCO signal through them, the envelope generator doesn't work properly. It won't. You don't get release.
Okay.
But you do with noise. But it's the same audio path. It's same trigger, same gate. But it won't do it when you put the VCOs through. Only when you put the white noise through.
Is it because the noise is hitting the top of the value all the time? A lot because it's noise compared to a
Because
VCO.
I mean, even if you pass it through quietly,
it still works.
the envelope generator follows the envelope that you've set it to. But the VCOs just turn off immediately. As soon as you let go of the key, sound goes, even though the release is turned up. But you can still hear the noise that the synth actually generates working through the envelope generator, but not the VCO. But the VCO signal won't go through. It cuts off as soon as you let go of the key.
That's mad, isn't it?
That is absolutely fucking nuts.
Not fixable, is that what you're saying? It's just have to live with
Well,
it.
I've been trying to figure out what's going on with it for 2 days now.
Shit.
And I'm finding nothing. Finding nothing at all. And I hate it when because this is a restore, and I mean it was one of those ones where you drop the boards out of it, and I had to hoover it so I could see the sliders.
Wow.
And it was it's been sitting around for donkeys up in this old shed. And I put new sliders in. I've done all this, that, and the other. I've got everything back, new bushes, redone all the keyboard and everything. It's absolutely pristine now, apart from this one fault, and it's driving me mental.
It's funny how people never put like a dust cover or a giant plastic bag around stuff. They just leave it out in the open, just whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think another one that's weird. I've noticed this. Well, I noticed this a few years ago, really. But if you were put into storage any synth that has a SSM 2044 filter chip in it, the filters just die.
Shit.
They just pack up. So
Right.
Poly 6s, leave a Poly 6 standing around for 12 years, and one of those filters will be gone.
So you need to
Or
be occasionally
monopoly.
turned on and used for a while, basically.
Yeah, it literally has to, something like that. They just die.
It's a bit like a hard drive needs spinning, doesn't it? If you don't spin your in the old world,
Yeah.
if you don't spin the hard drives enough, it'll just seize up and die.
Yeah.
Shit.
But I think Korg knew, because those SSM filters are in sockets, even if nothing else in that machine is.
Right. Okay.
But the filter chip will be in a socket. So I had this Monopoly in last week, and guys, it's been sitting around for 35 years in an attic. It goes, the lights come on and everything like that, but there's no sound. I bet it's the filter. But when I went to buy a new filter for it, 156 quid for 2044. You can stick that up your arse, mate. I got one of those, those SMT ones, on a little converter board.
Yeah.
and whack that in it. And yeah, fired up, full sound. I mean, all the pots needed cleaning out. Christ, did they? But yeah, those filter chips just die if you don't use
Do you have like mouse turds in it and stuff? Or is it?
them. No, nothing that bad. But it was in relatively good condition because they had wrapped this thing up.
Right.
Oh, they did. Oh, okay.
Yeah, oh yeah, this one was wrapped up, but it was, it's still going to get dust in pots and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
anyway. But the filter, bye-bye. It didn't even need calibrating, It was,
You buy one of those giant vacuum sealer things and seal up your synths.
yeah. But I mean, mate, you could put this into a stasis field, but that filter's still going to die. Really
Yeah.
weird. They just don't like existing, basically.
Yeah, it needs electric going through it every now and then, otherwise
Yeah,
it'll get
something like
old.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it's probably the same for the Profit Fiber of 1s and 2s as well.
All right.
Going to pack up.
The life of fixing synthesizers.
Oh God, yeah. I've got another GS1 coming in next month.
Wow.
Booked in now. Proper. What the
You
hell
are the
was I thinking?
GS1 guy now, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, it was just really weird that getting contacted and saying, "I've got a GS1. I heard you can restore them. Can you restore mine, please?" Money's no object. Oh, that's what I like.
Yeah.
That's write that in an email, and you're definitely getting an answer. So, even Fiona says, she goes, "Why are you taking on another one?"
Cash in the
I
bank.
said, "Money's no object." Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Good reason.
Yeah, it's a good reason.
Free reach arounds, all kinds of stuff, right? So.
Yeah, mind you, I made a big fuck up. I think it was a couple of weeks ago. I bought. I think I told you, Andy, didn't I, about I bought a pair of leaf springs for the Mustang.
Oh, yeah.
Only in the States. With the tax, the import duty, the shipping, blah 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 blah. It's about 520 quid to the door.
Ouch.
Wow.
And then a friend of mine told me about an American auto trading place up north here. I said, they do Mustang parts. I went, really? Oh, there's a couple of other bits I want. And I phoned them up and I said, oh, just out of interest, do you have rear leaf springs for a 72 fastback? I went, yeah, 85 quid, mate. The pair. I went, oh, no, come on.
Well, at least you know now.
I mean, that always happens, right? You latch onto something because it's not that easy to find, and then all of a sudden you go, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, exactly.
Do that. So.
But I told him what the lump in it was. He goes, "Oh, we stock flowers for them." Stop teasing me.
I mean, I was saying earlier, I found a Fismo on Reverb for over $4,000 recently.
What?
I got mine for like 2,100, something like that, which is already pushing it. But I really wanted one, and that was still a lot. Now they're like outrageous because they're rare as hen's teeth. So people pay whatever the fuck for them.
Wow. Yeah. Mind you, I wonder what sort of fucking fairy tales there's going to be in the Vimmer auction this year.
Plus, a lot of these ones probably didn't get the regulator fixed. The power regulator that goes bad in them.
Yeah.
So they might be buying something that just doesn't work after a while.
Yeah.
So.
It's like that DX1 that was on Reverb for, I think it was about 53 grand. And it's sitting in my workshop not working. And it's still for sale on Reverb. I'm going, what? You fools.
Yeah.
So there'll probably be some gems on in the Vimmer auction this year anyway.
Also, I like vintage stuff a lot, but I think about all those repair bills and everything else. It's just holy shit.
Yeah, but even then,
it's
I mean,
not
if it's
buying
something,
it, keeping it going, isn't it? It's a different.
Yeah.
well, yeah, but you see, what's normally really, really robust and reliable are the old big modulars.
Yeah.
But they are the most expensive buggers you can get. Everything else pales into significance. It's about what 100 and £150,000 for a Pristine C3, Moog C3.
Bloody hell.
No. It's nearly 125,000 for an ARP 2500 modular.
Yeah.
And you don't get a lot in a 25 modular. You know? But they are very reliable.
For that money, they ought to be.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
That's where you just get the Behringer ones because they're good enough, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
They even copied the knob colors and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's close enough for jazz, isn't it? It'll do.
Yeah. I mean, how many people are experts in that shit anyway? How would you know it's not the same? Right?
Yeah.
I don't think there's enough people on the planet left who would be able to distinguish what is a real 2500 and what the Behringer is doing. To be
And
honest.
even then, with the variations, just on a mini Moog, even because the age and the treatment and the resistors dying at different amounts and stuff, they don't sound the same either. So, what the hell, right?
Yeah, but it's like you can really get into the weeds with this stuff anyway. But I mean, it's like somebody says, "Oh yeah, what was it?" He goes, "Oh, is there anything modern I could buy that sounds like a CS80?" And I go, "Yeah, but which CS80 do you want to sound like?"
Yeah.
Because the early ones sound totally different from the late ones. You know?
Right. Has anyone dialed in, if it's even possible, for these small details, the RA Moog sound anywhere? Is it like a virtual version that sounds like it?
Yeah, a really good one is that who does it? The Model 72 or Model 73, I think it's called. What's
Really?
that? Who
does
made
that?
Who makes that?
Come on, chat, help us out.
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard of that one.
Model. I think it's either Model 72 or Model 73. Is it something like? Why can't I remember?
Someone's saying soft tube.
Thank you. Yes.
Soft tube, really? Yeah.
Yeah, soft tubes mini is absolutely stonking. Really, really good. Really, really good.
Thanks,
And
chat.
it sounds like you get that
Interesting.
powerful, slightly distorted but rich sound of the early minis, the ones that cost twice as much as the later ones in the second-hand market. And
you're talking about without even doing the feedback trick.
Oh, that's without that, yeah. No, it'll take Windows out of that fecker. So, because you could go and buy, say, a 1977 Mini Moog, and then go out and buy a 1973 RA, 72 RA, or Musonics 73 Musonics one. Put them side by side, and the Musonics will blow the other Mini out of the bloody room.
Mm.
And by the time you get to the last of them, the 1979, 1980 models, they're very thin sounding because they've been constantly trying to get it more and more stable. And it's only at the end of the production that you see that getting it stable was actually ruining the sound. You don't want it stable. You want it all over the bloody shop.
Oh yeah, look at that. Even the interface looks old. It doesn't have the colored switches and stuff.
Mm.
That's funny.
It's not cheap, but by God, it's good.
Yeah, $150.
Yeah, it's a real
Model
sweet
72.
one.
Yeah. Cool. Let's check that out. I haven't played with much of Softtube. I know about them, but I haven't really used their stuff.
Yeah, I haven't messed with them too much myself, but the Mini I have, I've used the Mini on quite a few occasions. It actually saves me having to take my Mini out of the cupboard.
Don't even have to dust it off, do you?
Nah, you can just sit in there and be quiet. I was thinking about donating to the Mead Show. You could put it into one of our raffles.
How many of those do you think are left?
What, Minis?
That RA mugs floating around.
Oh, the RAs, they didn't make many anyway, because literally, Bob was like hand building them in his shed.
Yeah.
Out the back. So there ain't many. I think there's about, all told, probably about 100, 150, something like that.
Wow.
And then they merged with Musonics, and so the Musonics ones are technically still RAs under the hood, but with a different bag. And then they started changing those selector knobs, from the duck nose ones to the pointy ones that they had for the selectors.
Wow.
And I think they changed the colour of some of the rocker switches as well, from white to blue.
Yeah, this is all white in this one.
Yeah.
They also made it look kind of dingy in the interface.
By the time Norlin owned it, it was because Norlin were box shifters, so it was but they didn't want them coming back every 5 minutes either, so they needed them to be more stable, and they took out the FET and put in op amps and transistor.
Do those bulbs ever go out on the minis? Those old bulbs?
I've had, in 25 years, 3 minis with the bulbs gone.
Wow.
So
they just underpower them? Is that why they last?
They're just very good bulbs, basically.
Yeah.
They're just the business, It takes a lot to blow one of them. But, so like I say, by the time Norlin got it and started to make it more stable, and they messed with the VCO board design and started to put more electrolytic caps in the filter, it lost a lot of its character.
I'm going to guess they were trying to fix things.
Yeah,
with their upgrades, trying to make it better. It's more
stable.
Yeah,
it's cheaper to put together, and then it sounds like crap.
I'd imagine back in the day that they were getting complaints that I took it to a gig, it's gone out of tune. Can you not sort this out so it don't go out? So to fix the not going out of tune bit, but then like you say, you'll lose the character of the sound then.
Yeah, so absolutely.
That's how it goes, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the first most reliable analog synth to have on stage in terms of tuning was probably the 2600
or the Odyssey for a small one, because you fixed that whole
the Odyssey could sometimes drift. I'm not really quite sure why. Maybe it's a FET leaking.
Oh, it's not the same. I thought it was the same circuitry almost as the 2600. Is it not?
It is, but there's a lot more to go wrong with it, because where the boards in the 2600 are hardwired together, you had this plug-on circuit board that goes on the bottom that links all the boards together, and that could be intermittent from time to time. And you could get this thing where when you let go of a note with a long release, it might drift up or drift down.
It's like a Molex kind of connector? Is it
Yeah. It's like a push-on thing onto little brass rods that was soldered onto the bottom of the boards, and it acted as a wiring harness, if you like. It was just like the wiring system to link all the boards, all the audio, CV, gate and trigger, all those sort of, and various signals, that you wanted to, like, if you wanted to pass modulation or whatever from one VCO to the
I'd imagine that the keyboard version would be also literally get battered, because you're actually like whacking the keys on it. Whereas if you're using the 2500 as a module, it's connected via a wire, isn't it? So you're not actually like touching it that much to like muck with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Unless you're banging for the spring reverb.
Yeah, true.
Mind you, I've known people have used that as part of their performance.
Yeah.
Smack the reverb.
Yeah.
Even the keyboard. I mean, the keyboard for the 2600 is very high quality keyboard and mechanism. It's very similar to the Minimoog keyboard mechanism. So,
Is that
and
sequencer
everything
well built
about
too?
it-
That at the same time they had that extra sequencer. Was that pretty good?
Yes, yeah. But it's like with the 2600s. I mean, they talk about, you had the blue Marvins, the grey Marvins or grey Meanie. Then you had the tonus. And what was
They're
it?
just colours though. They're not different.
No,
Are
there
they?
was slight changes to what type of filter it would have or what type of VCO it had in it as well.
Oh, okay.
The modules changed.
Right.
And bits and pieces as they went along. After the tonus was the oh god, what was it called? The oh god, my memory it really is bad.
Well, it's late too, so.
Well, it was another one after the tonus, and then it went to the black and orange. But then there was two
Do
different.
they call that as a
black
Rev
and orange
3
the
or
last
something?
one then? Is black and orange the last version?
Yes, I think so. Yeah,
Is it
like
called
it was with the
Mark
Odyssey.
3 or Rev 3 or something? What's the black and orange one?
It was kind of following along with the Odysseys, but they missed out on the black and gold, and the grey was sort of like the equivalent of the white.
Yeah, I have the Carp Odyssey with that black and gold. It's kind of hard to read, actually. I actually would prefer
Yeah,
the
that's the
orange
Mark
one.
II. That's the Mark II Odyssey.
Yeah.
It didn't have the 4012 filter in it. It had something else. I think it was the 40. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was a different filter.
Also had the original had that weird knob instead of a proportional pitch, right?
Yes, yeah. They had, but they did different sizes, and what they were doing, and this caught me up because I had to build a case for a 2600, and it was an early one, and it was great. It was a grey face, but it looked slightly different from everything else because the sliders on it didn't have the black caps; they had the coloured caps on it, like the Odyssey would have. And was it Ross? Yeah, I think Ross built a case for us, and then when I got it, the front panel just fell in because it was too tall.
Wow.
And what they were doing, the grey Meanies, they were using the grey Meanies case and cutting them to fit and fitting them into wooden cases, but the cases were actually smaller because the front panel was smaller than a standard 2600. That caught me out last year.
That's wild.
Yeah. So technically, there's
Hey, Paul. What's up?
four versions of the 2600. No, 5. Sorry, I think it's 5.
Hey,
What's up?
you got me okay?
Yeah.
Is your camera not working again, or you just turned it
I
off?
just didn't turn it on, like basically
Okay.
sitting in the dark here.
Okay, because it wasn't working
Yeah.
last time for some reason.
Yeah, I think I must have not hit the button right or whatever. But I'm old. This is weird. I got to get used to because I'm only on my phone here too. I got my iPad packed up.
So you're using the web interface or using the app? Because there is a
I am-
StreamYard app you can get now too.
I didn't get the app. I'm just using StreamYard from Safari.
Yeah.
So
It's pretty good, but it does crash once in a while for some reason. And, a lot of times I've been in the music store showing you guys stuff, and the fucking app, the web browser crashes. So
Yeah. Yeah, my browser crashes all the time in Facebook and locks up.
well, that's Zuckerberg's plan. That's speaking of those guys. There's all this hubbub because of Halloween and all that stuff, and all these guys live in Palo Alto. Zuckerberg, Steve Jobs' house is still there. His wife is still living there. What's the guy from Google?
Page
Larry
or
Page.
Yeah.
Yeah, Larry Page, and then the woman who was from Google who was running Yahoo for a while got ousted. All 4 of them have nice houses in Palo Alto, so there's a big event They all like hand out candy. They have actors, all this crazy decorations. These giant fucking pumpkins carved in like a cat skull. I got some pictures I'll have to upload later. Like really cool, like sculpted, one like sculpted hands grabbing something, and but they go all out just to get obviously more attention because they're attention whores, and so they're doing nice stuff for the kids, but it's got to be, you know, $20,000-$30,000 each place that night for all the shit they're doing, you know. Just for
It's a
Halloween.
tax write-off, so
I was
Of
literally
course,
just
yeah.
about to say that. I was literally
Yeah.
just about to say that.
Mm.
Yeah, of course.
presented by whatever their entertainment companies,
Yeah.
enterprises, et cetera, et cetera.
All donations to my local charity, me.
However, the best one I ever saw was there's a guy in Mountain View for a while who I talked to him one night when he was breaking down, so I got the skinny on it. But he had an entire animatronic thing he built up over the years. He called it DC Cemetery. If you go to a website, look for DC Cemetery. It's an amazing animatronic front end he put on the front of his house. So you can't even see his house. It's all built around the house. And it had like doors opening up and a skeleton playing Bach organ music on this big crazy organ. And then this giant crypt guy will come up out of the ground in this big thing, like 8 feet, 9 feet tall. Like, roar, he's yelling at you, scaring you and stuff. And then there's a morgue thing behind him. And you hear guys chatting. And like, oh, what's that? Oh, get out, run, run, run. And the doors would bust open. And there'd be a guy running in the air like this, his legs and arms kicking, and these giant hands grabbing him, trying to pull him back in. It was really awesome. And it's all done by this one guy with some help from his friends. It's all MIDI controlled. And it's all just sequenced running through the whole night. It's really cool. Look it up, DC Cemetery.
Yeah.
He stopped doing it about 5 years ago. I was really bummed out because I lived in Mountain View for years and years and years. And didn't know about this guy till like the last 2 years he did it. So I missed out on a bunch of it.
Pretty extreme.
But it's like Disneyland quality shit, like animatronic, like skeletons at the gates going, shaking the gates and stuff, like freaking out kids, right? And then like this cemetery guy, like sitting there watching the cemetery with his little shovel going back and forth, and the projection thing where he puts the faces onto sculptures, like they do on the Disney Haunted House, where it looks like they're talking to, but it's just a sculpture with a projection on it.
Yeah.
Very, very clever shit. Did it all by himself.
Wow.
You get some talent out there.
Yeah, and he did it for fun. He had a donation box, but it's just like he didn't care. He's just doing it for fun.
I don't know anybody with the Halloween kind of stuff, but I know in particular somebody out here that does the Christmas lights, and they're all, MIDI controlled and just a ridiculous display. And so.
Oh, it's like the famous video series that had Mannheim Steamroller with the synced lights.
Yeah, exactly.
And the chasing lights and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this he's actually pretty well known for it, but it's fun.
That's cool.
Mhm.
See if I can find that DC Cemetery site. It was really amazing. Probably in the way back at this point.
So, well, I'm going to have to miss Rob's show tomorrow because I got a text from the guy who's running our Electronica Fest 14 this weekend, and he's coming out to pick up my gear. That I'm doing the lights and running a jam room.
Mm.
So I got a whole bunch of gear I packed up today for that. I'm glad I got it all packed up today instead of waiting till tomorrow. But he wants to come out at noon and get me. I was like, oh, okay. I thought you were coming in the evening, but yeah, cool.
Mhm.
So
You
my
gonna film
afternoon's
it?
going to be spent putting my light show together and testing it out and getting ready for this show. It's going to be interesting. First time with this group of people. So meeting a lot of folk, and I think they're very strong in the noise generation rather than just making beats or whatever.
Perfect for Noisevember. Yeah.
They're I mean, what's even the lower level than DAWless? when you're the machine code of making music.
Letterbox less.
That's it, right? It's just pure signal. We have wire. I'm not sure we have grounding. Off we go.
No.
But hey,
You're
what
going to
the heck?
video it, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's there's all these people. They've been doing it's number 14, right? They've been doing this for many years, but it's very grassroots, and they lost the facility that they've been doing it for several years, a couple of years ago with COVID and all, and that was basically it's called the National Electronics Museum, and it was basically run by Northrop Grumman, south of Baltimore, but they're no longer sponsoring it. So all the gear got packed up, and they found another space north of Baltimore. But the museum's basically sitting in boxes in this big, large space that we're going to be performing in. But there's also a computer museum apparently that's there and is open. So I'm going to be like, okay, that'll be fun. Check out some whatever they got.
You're going to have an audience as well, yeah? Not just people.
Well, I have a feeling this is going to be like an imam where the audience are the performers.
Right. Okay.
But they're asking $10 at the door, so that's definitely gonna
Is there a bar?
cut down the audience. But that's it. Hey, if we pull this off, we eat like kings, kind of thing. And it's I think it's just for the faithful, obviously. There should be $10 to leave the building instead of come in, but
15 to learn, $10 to come in, 15
that's
to
right.
leave.
Free to come in, free beer, and then $10 for the exit.
I just put the DC Cemetery video in the chat. It's not the best one I've seen, but it gives you a rough idea of what's going on with the guy. It's pretty cool. From 2009, so it's quite a while ago. I saw him back about 10 years ago, so this is not as good as the one I saw. But
oh yeah, David had an email a few weeks ago.
So where's he at?
Who?
Where's this at?
This was in Mountain View for probably 10 years. This is 2009, this video. I saw him again about 10 years ago. So he's probably running it for 10, 15 years, just for fun. And when it takes it all down, you can't even tell.
Sure.
I lost track of which house it was. It's like, where's that guy's house again? I got to find it for next year. And I'm driving around and I go, I can't even tell which house it was. There's like not a trace of anything being there. But he built a whole facade wraparound for his house that he'd have to take down and put in storage.
Hey, engineers be engineering. What can I say, right?
Yeah, and the fact that it was MIDI controlled and this guy knew how to do all that shit is pretty awesome, right?
Well, see, that's the key. When they sort of cross the streams like that,
Yeah.
What was a post about Chowning the other day I saw on Facebook? Somebody, I heard him speaking recently, and I think what happened with him was that he was just enough engineer, but a musician, getting together with engineers who had no clue about the musical applications. And he was like, oh, if you take your peanut butter and put it with my chocolate, we get something incredible here. And Yamaha was like, yeah, we'll have some of that, please.
Yeah.
So, but that's cool.
Yeah, good stuff. I like to see that because it's not some corporate thing. It's not some super expensive theme park. It's some guy in his fucking front yard putting shit together that's rivals the big boys. And it's free.
Do you have any videos or discussion of like how I built this? Or it'd be interesting.
I never found any. So there's a website I was looking for, but I found this YouTube video instead. But if you go down the rabbit hole, just look for DC Cemetery and it's some kind of website. You'll see. He explains a little bit on the website. It wasn't that forthcoming because you don't want to give away all the tricks since he was going to probably one time he's probably going to do this professionally or
really?
Sell it or something. Who knows, right? So he doesn't want to give it all away.
Whatever.
But I mean, most people wouldn't put this much effort out. This is a labor of love.
Yeah.
When you see how elaborate this thing was, you go, one guy's doing this shit? It's unbelievable.
I get it. No, that's...
I mean, most yards are happy to see one statue that looks cool or one animatronic thing they probably bought at the spirit store, But they didn't make it, right? So this is, it's totally nice.
Hey, it's all about who you know and what you know, right? And and the technology's out there. And I mean, come on, let's face it. These days, you can get anything on eBay or the internet. So you're like, oh, let's see, I need a something part like this. You go search on the web, boom, you found it, right? And but
Yeah,
it's still cool, thinking just engineering something like that is absolutely cool.
And they had some cheap scares in there too that were fun. There was one little facade in the front by the donation box, and it was just kind of opaque window, and it looked like it would once in a while would flash, and you'd hear some noise there, and people kind of, hey, what's that? And all of a sudden, whoom, this big body thing would come against the window and slide down, So, scared the shit out of people.
Excellent.
Yeah, it was fun. Very, very fun.
Bless you.
Right, I better
Halloween
crash.
was dead this year. Other than that, pretty much, and a lot of people.
Well, we had 36 kids, which is about what it's been in recent years, I'd say. When my kids were young, it was more of a heyday, I would say. But we have a steady. But part of it is, I feel our houses are spread enough apart that it's a bit of a work, and it's not as much for the kids as it is the parents, right?
Well, plus
Most
some
of
kids
them have
get wise.
parents
They
that
go to
know.
nice neighborhoods with more money, so they get better candy.
That's what they think, but nah.
Sometimes you
I
do.
learned a lesson when I was a kid. I grew up in high-rise apartment buildings, and that was the prize, because you just started at the top floor and hit all all apartments there, and then you go down the stairs to the next floor, and we just spiral our way down. Didn't even have to go outside because it was freezing cold, of course. But
Because a lot of the places give you these little fun size things, right? But some of the people didn't care about money. They'd give you an entire candy bar, like a $2 candy bar.
I've heard of that. Now we bought some bags of candy, and I reach into the bucket and grab a fistful, but my hands aren't very good, so they're probably getting like 2 or 3 pieces each. But
sure,
I definitely we scored better than they did in the long run. No, they had full bags. I saw.
Well, it's funny too, because even when I was a kid, when things in general were just safer because there was less people, less weirdos, less. We didn't even have the milk cartons back then with the kids' faces on them. That's how long ago it was.
The good old days.
Yeah, things just felt safer in general. I could disappear
That's
with my friends for all day, and no one ever tried to molest us or steal us or hurt us. It was very boring but fun, right? But the sometimes you go to these houses back then, and like people are like, "Oh, homemade treats." I'm like, I'm not gonna. What am I have to eat from a stranger? You're gonna eat some homemade cookie or something that might have arsenic in it or something. It's just people are very strange about that.
Or razor blades.
Well, yeah, or the apple with the razor blade. It's like, well, give me candy or don't give me anything, because I don't want anything weird homemade that you might have tinkered with.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, that was just more of a snob. I think if I had some wrap homemade goodie and a chocolate bar, I'd be like, yep, toss that homemade thing in the trash. No thanks. Here, Mom, you can have that one.
No.
But I think it was certainly our generation where that all began, all that stuff. And oh my, yep. Sad.
A bit like what Dr. Sim's just written. Do you think all this festive occasion is actually sponsored by dentists?
Yeah. It's like Dr. Giggles, the evil dentist. Yeah.
Nah, I think dentists have enough work.
They
Dr.
do
Sid,
quite well.
how's your schedule? Do you have a lot of openings in your calendar? There's plenty to go around.
Well, it's right, because until in recent years when you had more sugar-free candies around and stuff, they were common. I remember going to the dentist when I was a kid, and you get a sucker when you leave. Like they're encouraging you to have candy.
That's
Well,
it.
yeah, because you're a repeat customer.
Exactly. Go to the treasure chest and get a sucker. I'm like, all right. I guess I am a sucker because they're going to ruin my teeth.
That's it.
Wow. And then you grew up and you got Euro Rack. There you go.
Yeah, I'm ruining my wallet.
So can confirm, man. He is a very busy doctor, and I know my doctor is plenty busy too. So I just saw them a couple of weeks ago, and now my dentist has a case where his daughter has now joined the practice. So I had her for the first time the other day, and moving on. So Any in that direction with your family, Manny?
Well, I finally got the bill from my insurance company that showed how much they paid for my thing. I did 2 crowns recently done,
Oh.
and some build-up work. It was mostly covered, luckily, but that's it. Like that's my insurance for the year for teeth,
Yep.
except for cleanings, because it was $2,500.
Your share?
No, the whole thing. But
You
just
got
I was just looking at the whole bill. I'm like, holy shit.
2 crowns for 2,500?
Well, it used to be like 600 per crown, and then you end up paying, copay plus a little extra because the cap on the insurance and stuff. But I looked at the actual bill this time, the details, just to see how much it actually costs for all the procedures, and I was like, God damn, this is a lot of money.
Wow,
For
that's
2 teeth. I mean, that was what I paid for my Fismo almost.
Do you have to do a root canal? Do you have to do a root canal as well?
Well, here's the funny thing, because one of them was a holdover from pre-COVID. I hadn't been to the dentist for a hell of a long time. I generally take pretty good care of my teeth, but I hadn't gone because of COVID, and I had forgotten I had a root canal to prepare for a crown just before COVID hit, and it had a temporary crown on it. And I completely forgot about it, right? And just so when I went into the dentist finally a while back, and they said, hey, you just have a temporary crown. It's probably been on there way too long. And went, oh, shit, I forgot about that one. We got to fix that one. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, first off, that seems like a really good price if you did. Well, I don't know. Because for me, at the last crown, I had to have a root canal as well. And so it's like $2,500 a crown / root canal for me. But I have a discounter, so it's like ends up being $1,500 out of pocket for me. But my discounter costs me $100 a year, so it's that's you rolling the dice that way. Pay me now or pay me later. Okay, but I've never had a temporary stay in for longer than a few weeks.
Oh yeah.
And every one of them has popped out at some point, and I go screaming to my dentist like, "Come put it back in," or I got something for temporary, but I was going on vacation and had to have one for like 10-day vacation, and I was just scared shitless the whole time I was on vacation. But I didn't stress it either. But it was like,
well, what's cool is
when you're away from home.
It's cool these guys use now. I don't know how many dentists use this stuff, but there's this company called Sirona. I think they're out of Italy, and they make CAD/CAM dentistry. Basically, it's 3D scan mouth, to parts perfectly tailored to fit whatever they just prepared for the fitting. So they scan your mouth, they send it off to the machine, it mills it out, and then has to go to some kind of a hardening process. Might be like a kiln type thing. It's not just printed and done. It has to be treated. And then they come back, and it's a good color. It's really hard. It really works, and it perfectly fits. So when they put that really nice adhesive on, it's done. As far as my experience has been, maybe occasionally it screws up, but I've never had their stuff pop off from that new technology.
But for the permanent crown,
even for the temporary, because they mill a temporary one that's not as hard. It's supposed to last for a little while. I guess it goes into the hardening. I don't know the whole process, but it reminds me, I have to go back to the office because the lady saved a mouth scan for me from my 3D printer. I have to go print my mouth. Go get the files.
You don't want them reconstructing you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
With this AI tech, pretty soon there'll be synthetics all over the place.
Well, it's just kind of fun because now I could take it in and just isolate an area, just print like a giant tooth and gums.
Sure.
So.
Absolutely. Gotta have it. Come on.
Good for Halloween.
It exists
for Halloween.
because it exists. So, but yeah, I'm just talking about temporaries. I've never had a problem with a permanent crown coming out, but they can do it. The dentist, they take a permanent and just kind of yank enough and pops right out. But it's nothing I've done. But just the temporary ones, and they don't. Obviously they don't put a very strong glue in it, but
yeah.
Well,
this one lasted. However it did.
Well, I guess I'm just paranoid too because my ex-mother-in-law at one time swallowed a crown, at
Oh,
dinner.
yeah.
So it's sort of like, I always had that fear, like a temporary is gonna no.
I think I did break a temporary before, a long time ago.
But yeah, I'm trying to maintain the teeth as best I can. That's
But
something.
I also
better
grind my
control
teeth at
over.
night. I have TMJ, so I have
Oh
this
yeah,
jaw clenching thing, and that's why
yeah,
a lot of my teeth turn into crowns. Because old fillings became stress fractures, became you have to get a damn crown, or you
right.
lose the tooth. So that's why it got expensive after a while. I'm like, oh, these fucking crowns now, because of the TMJ and the grinding. So I
Yeah.
use night guards and stuff, but for years I used what they recommended was a hard night guard, almost like retainer material, and I still got stress fractures using that. I'm like, I went to boxing mouthpieces for a while because they're nice and soft.
Wow.
But now I use another company that makes a good quality one that's not so bulky.
I'm going to duck out now because it's 2:42 in the morning.
Oh man, yeah, that's right. You still have
Yeah, I
me.
think I'll do the
We're
same.
at the 6 hour difference now.
Yeah.
Well, take care,
I gotta
Chris
go
Ed,
eat
man.
too.
All right, yeah.
So
Good
Yep.
Yeah,
to
I'll
talk.
go
Yeah.
crash as well. Otherwise, I'll never make the show tomorrow.
And say
Yeah,
hello
you've
to
got homework to
Fruity
do,
Cat,
Kent. You have.
I have.
just have your 5 cups
You
of
got
coffee. You'll be all right.
Cubase, mate. Look into it.
Good night.
All right, guys. Look out
Cool.
yourselves.
Nice to
See you
speak to
later.
you.
So yeah.
Catch you. Bye.
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 And
I could be on a little bit longer if you guys want to hear some fun stuff. I haven't plugged this in forever. You ever seen a Waldorf 4-pole?
yeah, I remember seeing those in the racks.
My friend gave it to me basically because there's this rich guy didn't give a shit about anything. So he goes, "Hey, you want this?" I'm like, all right.
Sitting there in the rack with the Sherman filter bank and
He didn't have that, but I mean,
other
he's
weird, funky.
my
synth
first
extra
command
hard.
station I got from him for free because he didn't want it. He's like, "Hey, you want this?" I don't really use it.
Ooh.
I'm like, "This is a lot of money." Whatever. He was a spoiled brat, so his parents bought him everything, so he didn't care. He's the one I first found out about Emaxes from, or at least Emax 2, the later one.
The
And
synthesizer.
When I bought one, he had a giant library already, so I just got to copy his library. So I had his massive sample library immediately.
Yep.
Just because of him, so it was kind of cool. All right, let's turn this on and let's see what we can do. Is it this one? So I'm running the ROAT into the.
Okay. You running it through something?
Yeah, I'm running through the 4-pole. Let me pick another preset.
4-pole? Okay.
That preset's not very interesting. Just a nice low end there. You guys hear that? Let me mix it up here.
All right.
Should have delay on there too, but I just had the filter. So another preset. Very 50s sci-fi. Or Outer Limits. There's some low end. Anyone
Well,
using
I just
subs?
posted. I think this is the soundtrack that I'm going to be hearing all Saturday.
Basically.
But I'm going to basically be jamming lights to this kind of stuff. So, fun.
Also, it's doing live panning. I'm not even controlling the pan. Some serious bass on that. Almost like wind. Wind blowing through a window. Crazy. Is it all distorted? Is it distorted? Does it sound okay in there?
It's mixed. But to be fair, I'm listening on my iPhone here, so.
Oh, that's true. You're missing the low end then. Alright, that preset's not good.
Are you recording this?
Oh, it's on the stream, so. Squishy crunchy. That's a good preset. Whoa, here's some candy. Very outer limits. Like a chatty robot freaking out. This is a trip. I haven't used this filter
The
for
sound of 1,000 modems dying.
Yeah.
But so is there a determinacy to it, or is it just like you're just going for it?
I have no idea what I'm doing, so
Okay,
that's part of the fun.
so that's it.
I mean, the ROAT I still haven't figured out 100%. This is probably the fourth time I've ever used the ROAT, to be honest. So I need to use it more. But I figured, hey, the 4-pole, I haven't used this for a while. This might be fun. And so far I got some cool stuff. Got some dynamic panning and some nice filters and some FM stuff going on here. Hopefully no one's ears are bleeding yet. It's a very nice smooth filter. There's no stepping in it. I've seen the 2-pole is pretty common, but the 4-pole you don't see much anymore.
Okay. Isn't it the same form factor they reused?
It's the same, yeah, metal case, yeah.
Yeah,
This one has
easier.
wiggly knobs on it. It's almost formanty there. Yeah, there you go.
That is some wild stuff.
Yeah, that, and then also I got a little patch running on this Radiophonic 1. I was trying to do whatever I could internally without adding any external clock, any external whatever. And it's interesting. Not quite a musical composition, but you can do quite a bit with just some internal, some patching between the modules. Slicing module adds some wave folding features to it. And you have this other thing, this modulation thing on the oscillator, which is kind of weird. It adds some weird kind of drift to the oscillator, so if you let it sit longer. Hear that weird drift?
Yeah.
It's this funky like randomizer, drift randomizer.
Are you triggering that?
It's an auto thing for the complex, the envelope generator.
Okay.
It's on a free run.
Yeah.
So it ends up like being like a 4-part sequencer. 4-step sequencer.
When aftertouch goes bad.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. This drifting is really weird. This Sea Devils filter is really cool. It's based on the ECS3 filter. Yay, modular wankery, everyone loves it.
That's, yeah. Those of you are the ones that matter. And
Pretty cool. It's just a handful of patches. It's not even fully patched.
Weird stuff.
do quite a bit, but I've got to wrap my head around it because it's a weird beast. It has some really weird features on it.
Now just get out your EWI and or that thing you just got and ring mod those two.
Or mix these two together.
That's a play.
Noise for anybody.
There we go. Hey, if you gotta be out in Baltimore area Saturday and bring your gear with you, we might be able to squeeze you in.
Yes.
Actually,
I haven't
It's
gone
funny,
anywhere for a while. I didn't even get a chance to. I'm bummed. I actually totally forgot. Although it's not the same group anymore, I totally missed the Tangerine Dream concert that came through here about 2 months ago. I was looking online lately and I go, hey, wait a minute. What's the date on this? Oh, shit. They were in town like just over a month and a half ago.
oh yeah, they were sweeping through. They were going through the
They're
west. I
back in
remember
Europe
that.
again. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're back touring Europe again. But I'm like, man, it would have been kind of fun because they did basically redoing some of their old stuff from like the Virgin years. A lot of their famous stuff from the 70s all the way up through to the 80s and a little bit later. So a lot of pretty good albums in there. Just
Okay.
redone, there's the new style kind of stuff.
They probably played somewhere around here, but I don't follow that. I don't do shows anymore, so
I didn't go. I mean, I saw Gabriel a couple months ago. That was cool.
Yep.
And I saw. I went to go see Chic and Duran Duran when Rich said they were coming through here, so that was fun.
Yep.
And,
My kids saw them in DC here.
Yeah, so I saw a few things this year,
Yeah.
but not that much.
Did you see them on the Tiny Desk concert?
No, not yet. I heard about it.
Oh, it's on YouTube. Yeah, it just got posted
Yeah.
the other day. And
cool.
It was really cool. So Rich standing in the back there doing the keys.
Yeah, he's doing guitar work now a lot. I did see a clip of him recently. He actually posted on Facebook of him playing guitar on stage with Nile.
Yeah, he was talking about doing that for a couple of songs at least.
Yeah. So that's kind of different because
Yeah.
he's not really known as a guitar guy from what I remember, but he was playing pretty well. It's fun to watch him.
You do what you got to do on the job there.
Well, it's also, I mean, there was hints of it though, because if you go back to the earlier Kent pubs where
Sure.
Rich was on there, and he's always like playing it, and he's pulled his guitar and it's just jamming on his guitar during the show. And it's like, oh, okay, he's into guitar a lot. I didn't know he was that much into guitar until I saw that.
Yeah. It's just
there's a lot of guys who are keyboard guys.
Just
that were like
another one
guys,
in the list, right?
Oh, exactly. Yeah, there are plenty of multi-instrumentalists, but most people just pick one or the other for the most part. So it's kind of fun to see that he's doing all that stuff. It's pretty cool.
And I enjoyed that Tiny Desk show. Although clearly it was early in the morning for Niles, his brain was not quite functioning.
Oh, really?
You could see he was joking about it. He was just a little forgetful, and the kind of thing like, "Whoa!" But for the performing, it was fine. But just a lot of banter in between.
Oh,
and,
sure.
But it was.
Yeah, I missed most of that. The last Tiny Desk thing I saw was Imogen Heap. I think she did a Tiny Desk concert. But I haven't seen that many of those.
Yeah, I can't even think how many. Not like everyone, but they're usually, I'll say, more appropriate for the room artists. But they'll bring in somebody like a Chic or I think they're being a little more adventuresome these days, not just smaller folky artists or whatever.
Is it like once a month? Or how often do they do it?
I don't know the schedule, but
Oh, okay.
they just show up on my YouTube, suggestions.
Yeah.
And but they're always great quality, That's so. I mean, like I saw Booker T, and that was great. And it was just like the strangest thing. It'd be like walking through the mall, and there's Booker T play. Stop
I
and
know
watch
they're
him
still
play
playing.
for a little bit.
That's funny.
Yeah. So, and
That's cool.
absolute. But
Very cool. Well, it's been even though it's, I got a late start, so it's been a pretty short show. It's only been about, 4 hours, I think.
Going on 4 hours.
Yeah, I started about 4 o'clock because I had errands to do and traffic and stuff, and it's like, God damn it. I tried to start around 2, but just couldn't. So it's been fun, though. Folks showed up, and I'm glad you showed up as well. That's cool.
I'm happy to join you, and miss you guys tomorrow. I'll have to just catch it on the replay, but it's not the same as being there.
Yeah, I have to multitask.
I know that's going to be another good show.
So, yeah, it should be interesting. But
And,
enjoy your noisy stuff this weekend.
We'll have fun, and I will either post the link to where something is posted, or I will post stuff myself, and let people know what Electronica Fest has been up to. It's a small group, but small but mighty. I'll say that. And we have a space. We have a space. So
I got the stuff out because I'm trying to do that Noisevember thing this month. So I try to do something every day if I can, because I've never tried those serious things before. And I did a crazy one last night that went on like way too long. I think it's like 15 minutes or something like that. I was having a lot of fun with the Osmos and making weird shit with it. So I uploaded that actually this morning because I fell asleep while it was rendering. And so I didn't actually get it uploaded yesterday. I got it uploaded this morning, but it was made last night. So I'm going to, before I shut down here, I'm going to record some of this weird shit real quick, and that will be my Noisevember for tonight. So short and sweet. Probably like 2 or 3 minutes, really, because how much can one take, really? So.
That's right. Hey, well, if
you're into
you find the magic in it,
and all those guys, I'm not really a noise artist guy, so.
Where is the setup for this Noisevember?
Well, people are just doing it all over, but I mean, the Hardware Jams guys decided during the last show, to put a little patch for it on the Hardware Jams channel on Facebook. So people are basically putting their jams up wherever, and then just putting a link in that thread. So
cool.
Yeah. So it's just
all right.
People are just kind of doing. Some people are just doing little quick clips, like little Facebook Reels or YouTube Reels.
I saw Grace's entry, and
yeah, I'm behind. I haven't seen that many yet. I saw them post it.
A couple of people posted stuff, but
yeah,
didn't know what. So I try not to watch the Hardware Jam submissions individually, just to save them for the show.
Yeah, it's more fun on the show. I don't watch.
And then of course I end up having to go to the bathroom, or somebody comes to the door. You miss that.
Exactly.
Oh no, I got to go back and watch that person's. But
there are unfortunately many shows I missed a whole bunch, and I sometimes forget to go back, and so it's just one of those things.
It is, but always fun.
Yeah, good times.
So, all righty, well, I'll say farewell and bid you all good night, and we'll talk real soon.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Good times. Mini pub coming to an end.